And I need to log into Twitch.
Okay. Ready.
Yeah.
I think I'm good for everything here. What's up, Rascal?
Back in 2001, when we first began
Checking
working with
everything.
Gary
What's up, Chris? How are you?
He pitched this wonderful series of books to us. Yeah, he called them the Gygaxian Fantasy Worlds, and what he envisioned was this encyclopedic set of books for role players, writers, game designers, the whole lot
I've been
of
too
us
busy with work. I haven't talked to
making
Chuck
our
or
games,
anything. I was like,
creating
Chuck,
our
I need some new
adventures,
vids.
writing self-publishable content,
Again.
whatever it may be. And there was really no end to what he envisioned this series to be. We eventually published The Canting Crew, The World Builder, Living Fantasy, 7 volumes in total. We had another 3 that were ready to go to print.
Oh yeah,
3 or 4 after that we were working
you
on.
need
So
to
the series
keep
was
at
really
him.
open-ended.
Yeah, well, and the other
time.
sponsors
That's
too.
what this Kickstarter is.
See what
We've
new
got
stuff that
7
Jeremy
books
has.
online ready to be printed.
Ask him.
We've got another 3 right after that we want to get it minimally out as we were working on them at the time. Those will be out definitely in PDF, depending on how well the Kickstarter does, and maybe even more than that. Once we kind of push beyond the necessary stretch goals and all that mess. But welcome to the what we're calling the Gary Gygax World Building Archives, and please give us your support. Share it around if you can. Pledge if you can. Whatever you need to do, whatever you can do for us and the memory of Gary Gygax, we very much appreciate it.
I got the sound turned down.
Trollord Games, join the fray.
I caught that, and
Hi, welcome to Gamescape.
I'll run this for a couple minutes, and then we'll go
live.
live.
Release of our gigantic clips.
Whew.
We have a lot to go over, so
Hope everyone is well tonight as people are rolling in.
All right, before we jump in and see how this thing is standing up, let's look at some of our smaller features.
It's like the first Saturday no game in a while, so
All right, you're going
actually
to have
just
a folder in there
having a weekend off.
called
Well, I got so much to do,
Face Cliffs.
so just can't make it
Those
work.
refer
this
to a
weekend.
few specialty items that we have here. You can see this
So.
tree right here. It actually just pops right off. And after you pop it off, you can go ahead. I have a door piece you can swap in there. I also just have a plain cliff face you can swap right.
Ready.
Whoops. You can pop in there.
Do this, hit that.
Okay.
Getting everything
So
everything
let's
rolling
say
here.
you're on an adventure.
Hey, my Morph, what's up?
You know, someone says a magic word, maybe that makes a door appear in the side of a cliff.
Right.
For you to enter inside or whatever.
Good.
So
I got 651
this one
too.
right next to it is
Fourth,
another
what's up?
swappable one. We have a cave entrance. These things blend in real well
Ah, I needed the coffee.
on the tabletop, as you can see.
Thanks, I needed that, right?
So there we go. No cave. Cave.
Yeah, I got some
Just
really
that
good
simple.
ones, and I got like,
Yeah.
you know,
And then our
lot
last one
of
is down here.
ones from last time.
Shelves
So,
right here. This whole thing
you know,
comes
we can
off.
bring these up as needed.
Okay,
If you
Yeah.
have, do you have the same folder?
I'm
You're
not
also gonna
sure.
have
Well, I'm sure I
open
have it,
locks
but I'm not
everywhere.
sure
You
which
have
one it
magnets.
is.
Yeah.
Fantasy mapping show or no?
No, this is for Legends and Lore number previous
Okay.
Legends and Lore, which was number. Jeez, one sec.
Needed something with a little more
Yeah, I'm
punch
not
than
sure
what
I've,
you
hang
want.
on a second.
One
I think I-
13.
So you can
Yeah,
see the
let's
open
see
locks being useful in some cases. Mostly, I
Yeah.
think
I need to
you
find
want
our.
to use
There we
them
go.
on side-to-side
Alvsborg
connections
and
potentially,
let's see.
because you will get into
Faltic Levin.
situations
I'm
where the
saying them all
manual
wrong.
polarity isn't
Glimmage,
set up
whole bunch
correctly
of
for
them.
what you want to do. And those
Lacko
open locks
slot.
will
Well, it's yeah. You
override
I keep it all.
uh,
Yeah, so
the
what you
magnets
did is that
pushing
you
away from each
oh no,
other.
I have it.
In
Yeah, I
terms
found
of
it.
this
Yeah,
base
I
here,
have
you
it.
can
Yep,
use any
yep,
quarter-inch material. I'm using
Trelleborgen,
hardboard here.
yep,
Viking
Uh,
Fort Oland.
you
I
could
got yeah.
use
So
yeah.
cool.
There's a
quarter-inch
lot
What's up,
of
Keith?
cardboard,
examples
Thanks.
quarter-inch
from
foam
left and right.
core,
So
something
we should kind
plastic,
of not repeat everything we said
plexiglass,
4 years
anything you
ago.
got
No, I don't
available.
even
Yeah.
remember
You
what
could
we
even
said.
use
So
eighth-inch
yeah,
Okay, good.
material,
so
Yep.
shorten it up
probably
a
not
little
going
bit,
to, especially with Gary coming on in an
double
hour or
it
two.
up,
What's up, Mike?
whatever.
Well, that's good.
Michael?
So
Yep.
there's the hardboard I'm using.
But there are some
Okay,
yeah.
these set right
Hopefully we
on
get some
top.
good questions too. So yeah.
I'll go ahead
Frog
and
chat, Michael.
move
What's that? Is
these
that
out of the way so
live?
you can sort of see the front mechanism. Okay,
Or is
so you
that
got
on? Is that in
magnets
10
all
car?
along here. And these are just the tops of the cliffs. Your board sets right in here, and you do not need to cut precisely. We got a lot of overlap coverage there.
All right.
As you can see, in most cases,
Enough of
most
that.
spots, you're
Oh, cool. Well, that's good, man. Enjoy. I understand that. Oh, it's live? Oh, cool. Let's see. Ready. Whoops, it still says unique spells to the GREYHAWK setting. Dumb, there, I missed something. No, not that, so I can change this on the fly. I think. I did, it's small though. Oh wait, well, I'll have to fix that in the future. Castles, keeps, and towers. Woohoo! Hey, Blue Joy. Oh, it's alright. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Can't make them all, man. It's all good. Alrighty. Let's see where we are on Virtual GREYHAWK Con event schedule. Coming live. A couple minutes early, always good, right? All right. Oh, look at that, and I forgot to. You're nowhere to be found. Woohoo!
There we go. Yeah.
Let me fix it a little bit. So, hello everyone. I'm Jay Galore Kazumba, along with Anna Meyer. We should have
Hello.
Gary Julian for
Yeah.
hour 2. So that would be really cool to talk this discussion. Castles, keeps, towers, fortifications, other wonderful locations in GREYHAWK. So we did this one way back, number 113. This is a revisit, but there's a lot that has happened since then, which is 151 Legends and Lores ago. So it's 3 years ago that we did.
Yeah, we had a lot fewer viewers back then too.
Yeah, I think I can check the date on this. Let me take a look here.
Mhm.
I'll just throw this up. Wednesday, August 11th. So that's 3 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. Going to be a fun discussion. So at first, let's check this out as we're filling in. We still got some good. Hey, old times, good to see you. Yeah, exclamation point drawing, classic D&D reprint giveaway. I'm still matching gift subs on Twitch on talk shows because September is still on. So let's see what we got here. Here's a blow this up a little bit. A GREYHAWK Reborn game has got 2 open seats. Seminars don't count. That's in our seminar. Deep Dwarven Delve, half filled now. We got 3 open seats now. That's progress, as that was a late log in there. Another one, another Greyhawk Reborn, 3 open seats. Mystery of the Stolen Boat still has 4. So we got to work on that. I think someone dropped in this, and this is Josh Pops, if I recall. So there's 4 open seats now for Ravages of the Mind. Yep, and it's a great group too. So that is that's a Len Kafka adventure. Dweep Dwarven Delve, another 3. So we're getting there, halfway there on those. This one's still got 5 of 6, but if we can get 2 out of 3 filled, I think that's good. Fury of the Bitter Root Tribe. This is still William Henry Dvorak, and he's only got 1 sign up. I don't get it. I do not get it for Will. I mean, Will's such a great guy. Hey, Solid, good to see you. So yeah, Dungeon Land, only 1 open. Greyhawk Reborn, Strange Bedfellows, half filled. Nope, still 4 open. It's Michael's. Zavad needs some more for that, and that's Bogart, and he changed his setup. This is actually a game. This is actually a Carlos Lysing adventure that he's running. So maybe that'll help everyone knowing that Zavad is a Carlos Lysing adventure. I put that in the description. And besides that, 1 here for Ghost Tower, 2 openings for Zeef. I mean, it is pretty good. We're only looking for another 10 signups for events. That's it. That's it, and we'll be good on getting it almost completely filled and not having to cancel any events. So what's up there, Fuzz? All right, so Classic D&D reprints tonight. Exclamation point drawing should be rolling in that. So thanks, Josh. 55 months. I can't believe I've known you that long. It actually scares me. All that time. Where'd the time go? So I'm doing something here real quick. Just checking that out. Okay. Keith also resubbed up, so let me pop that up so that shows. Thank you. Alrighty. So tonight, castles, keeps, and towers in Greyhawk. So this will be a fun discussion because, and if anyone has any questions, oh, thanks, Fuzz. If you have questions about Greyhawk Con or playing or running or whatever, yeah, that's funny. I'm glad you got in the game too on the night you wanted. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. I'll help you out and work with you on that. So, but we got a lot of great things coming. Oh, Will, thanks, man. Hit us up with a hype train. That's great to see.
Yeah.
So why didn't Will's pop up here? That is weird. Man, freaking stuff's doing weird stuff. Let me see if it shows. It could have been I was switching screens. There you go, Will. Thank you. Hype train. Yay. So keep things rolling, everyone. And we're all doing a great job for the con, and I really appreciate it. All right, let's get to the topic. So, Anna, we did this 3 years ago. That was more historical, right?
Yes, we looked at real castles a lot and castle design and stuff. And I think we did. Well, we did do it. I wasn't sure if it was a Legend Lore Gabby because we talked a lot about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we talked a lot about real design. We can touch on that, but let's not make that the emphasis on this, so to speak.
We can go back and reference to one if we need to.
Yeah.
So,
and then we had one special about the most famous or infamous, depending on how you see a castle in Greyhawk, meaning Castle Greyhawk. We had a whole special episode with
we did.
Ellen,
Absolutely.
talking about that one too. So
Yeah, it's that was. Did we have Eric on that one? Did we get Eric on that one?
We had
Alan. We had Alan Growy on that one. The history of it, all the differences and all that. Yeah, that was a great one. Death Ray. Death Ray. Thank you too. So I'll start this off. I'll start this off. Let me do one thing though, and on the side, let me bring up your map, and
we will need it because we will bounce.
I should have done earlier. You don't know what to name when you're like 12. Hey, what's up, Dale? When you're 12, 13 years old, you don't know what to name things, right?
Well, you still don't, and I don't. meaning I still struggle with it, and I'm in my Shieldlands campaign. I've already named like 10 keeps at least, and a couple of castles, and some similar type of buildings left and right.
Yeah,
so,
Absolutely. So if I come here and we come to the map, and we scroll way down to the order of Ulick Holdings, the main keep all the way at the Delta is Wales Castle because I thought that was cool when I was a kid. And, the Welsh, the strangers, right?
Yeah.
Welsh means stranger, doesn't it? And I always thought it was back in the day. It was fill the map, right? Fill the grid, fill the page. Yeah, Patrick, I know you're on a trunk. I know you're away for 2 weeks. Thank you so very much, man. You'll be back. Patrick will be back for Virtual GreyHawk because he will be back as
have a good trip.
Juan Carlos, captain of the guard in the Grand Joust. So the Highlander keeps guarding. Do you have any maps of them? Do you have any pictures, Dale? If you have any, put them in Discord for me and just tell me in chat that you did, and then I'll share them.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
I've seen a couple of ideas from Dale that was awesome on this. So yeah.
So I got this, and it was real small architectural squares. I got a map of it, and then I realized in days I didn't want that. So unfortunately, Frog God Michael, if you're still on, use this. I think this is the artwork for it. One of the artwork. There's multiple artwork pieces. This is what so I think that's more what Wales Castle looks like. I like Mont Saint Michel myself, if I said that right. That's what I imagine it as, because where it is with the Delta, and the title comes in, and sometimes it's not connected, right? And here's one with the bridge. These are art renderings of it. I don't want, So, that's kind of what I picture. Maybe not as modern looking the buildings, but that's I like that. I think that's cool. So
you have to realize a lot of the small buildings around are more modern design than and it's been rebuilt, and we have to realize a lot of these castles and palaces and fortresses and stuff we see today are being rebuilt, renovated, because the ones that are still around have been used for something, meaning this was a prison and a bunch of other stuff for hundreds of years, at least a couple of hundred years and then now being restored back to at least reasonable former glory, so to speak. So a lot of these things are evolved over time. So they don't look that way back in medieval times and so on. And so a lot of them have been rebuilt for the gun. Even the ones that were military installations, they were like the Tower of London. They were converted for cannon use and in order to be able to take impact from cannons and stuff like that. So we look at it from a fantasy perspective. We should kind of look back to and see what interesting designs for GREYHAWK, so to speak. But right. Yeah.
So that's my thought of what would be cool. Yeah. And so
And we have to remember, this is not a particularly defensive installation, so to speak. This is a place a safe place and a cool place to have a lot of monks, religious people, and a religious institution, not a military fort, not a military defensive position per se. So
but it does have walls.
Oh yeah, definitely had to defend itself. It wasn't necessarily there to defend everything else.
Right. Thank you for the hype train, everyone. Yeah. So and that's just giving you an example of one of mine.
Well,
and, there, and a lot of the other ones have and we can go back to them, but I have pictures of most of them. So Anna, where do you want to go? So
let's start with another classic from GREYHAWK, simply because so we can tie it into products. And there is another castle that has been of GREYHAWK fame, and I'm talking Castle Heart, because it got a real good product back in, was it late first edition era, I think you remember, or early second, I'm not sure which.
There's a mess up because there's multiple things in its place, right?
Exactly. It's like so Castle Heart there, and
I got pictures of that one, and that one's in castles or castle sites. That's in castles, right?
Yeah, castles. There is a booklet.
But I have this.
Well, there's a beautiful rendering too from it. It should be in the list there from the folder.
Oh, I have this.
There's even exactly. That's the one. The cover from the booklet. Yep. And this one is interesting because this one is in some ways an amalgamation.
Yeah,
It
it's Fort
because
McHenry.
yeah, but these fortresses that were built
Cannons.
according to this plan, they were made to have store cannons on top of
Yeah.
them. So you had low walls. In reality, they had forts that were built like this in real time. In reality, back in the day, they skipped the crenellation and had clean walls for the most part, or they had special crenellation only for the gun ports at certain areas. So and the walls were low and thick, so they could withstand a lot of impact from cannons and stuff. But it looks kind of cool.
What I like
that's
is this self-created harbor.
yes,
I like
exactly.
that. I think that's
Yeah.
really cool.
That is a cool feature, so to
Yeah.
speak. But these walls don't look like they're intended to be hard to scale using a siege, so to speak. These
Right.
are there to be to protect guns and cannons, which to me was a little bit sad, so to speak. It's an amalgamation of it. But on the other hand, a fantasy fort or castle or fortification has to withstand a lot of stuff that a real world fortress back in medieval times didn't have to, meaning dragon impacts. You can have an army with
Giants
demons
of
and you have-
boulders.
Exactly, giant with boulders, magic, and a whole bunch of stuff. So to have something that looks a little bit more from the gun era, so to speak, meaning thicker walls, lower ones, and stuff, might make sense. So at first I was very disappointed. Now I'm like, let's work with this kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So Umber Hulk. Well, Umber Hulks and anything like that coming in underneath is a problem. That's why
Exactly.
sappers, dwarven sappers, and goblin sappers are
Yeah.
so important.
Which
and,
was a threat even back in the day. It was very tedious, required enormous amount of man hours.
Yep.
But the reason it was effective was that it was safe for the sappers comparatively. To scale the walls was very, very dangerous. To undermine them was way more work, but much less deadly, so to speak.
And-
but it also required a lot of skill, because most fortresses were not built on something that you could easily dig into. They were built on solid rock usually, so, which meant that you had to have miners who could somehow get themselves through the rock under them, so to speak.
This
So,
is
yeah.
a picture from the Castle Heart referencing, showing that they can have a floodable moat in the second. I guess that's what
Yeah.
that's showing, and they have a
Mhm.
moat outside, and this is
Yeah.
going out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
which is pretty neat. So it's a good
Mhm.
picture.
And it's also interesting to see that Castle Heart is in a strategic position, guarding the Crystal River and the Veng River. So it makes sense to build one there. So they didn't put it in a arbitrarily stupid place. They put it in I think a really good spot.
But
That
this
should
is from
have
Patriots. This is from not Patriots Eagle, like Border Border Patrol. Border. What's that one?
Yeah,
Right,
I'm not
yeah.
sure where they actually placed it the first, but
Yeah.
it's so it's, and then you have Barduk
Border
Portwell, who were
Watch.
coming from Marklands or somewhere later, so to speak.
Yeah,
But
no, I think this
ma-
was from the Border Watch adventure,
Oh, okay,
where you
yeah.
go all along the border
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so
And it makes sense to have an installation on each side of the river, of the small river. That also makes sense because that you can host a bridge, or you can control
true.
the river traffic. Yep.
yeah, and I remember that specifically in the Revolutionary War. Fort Mercer, Fort Mifflin, and you had the Battle
Yeah.
of Red Bank, which is right down the road from me. Revolutionary War, where they defended, I guess 400 defended against 2,000 Hessians or whatever, and they stopped them. And there's a road literally down about a mile away. It's called Hessian's Way. They switched it in the years ago from Hessian's Run, because that's where all the Hessians fled down. So I guess it was not politically correct, so they changed the name. So yeah, that was on both sides of the Delaware.
Yeah, and there you bring
Yeah.
up a good point, because one of the main points of building these defense installations is that you can use a lot less, meaning you don't have to defend with that many soldiers. Meaning
Right.
a few soldiers can, with these installations like keeps and battlements and all that, that means that you might need, instead of having 2-1 or 3-1, you might have to have 10 to 20-1 in order to be able to lay siege effectively or control them. So you can it's a way of boosting manpower, so to speak, making them more effective.
This
Here
is
we see,
Portugal.
exactly. This is Portugal. This is an early gun era fortress, so to speak, not the late gunpowder era, the early ones, where they still was thinking old style sieges and cannons, but they had started to realize the potential impact of cannon fire and stuff like that. So the walls were starting to, you build bastions, you move out the cannons, you can shoot in a lot of different directions, and you made the walls lower and way thicker. But you
Right.
still have, it's interesting, what this one works, I think, really good from a fantasy perspective too, because you can put siege engines and a
Crossing
lot of
fields
stuff
fire
instead.
too. Yeah.
Exactly. And an attacker has a real tricky to go in because there's multiple moats. There's like, first you have to scale up the sides, and then there's 1, 2 moats, 3 moats, 4 moats before you need the go
Yeah,
to
you
the
can see
keep.
them all out here.
Exactly. So you have like multiple ones, and in a fantasy world, you can fill them with not only water, you can fill them with all sorts of other nasties like spells. You can have like these tangled wines, and you can have poison stuff, you can have acid things, you can have do all sorts of nasty stuff with magic and other things that you can put in the moats instead of water as well. One of my, that we get to that one later, that I use one of his, I have undead. There was like hordes of undeads in the moat. So and they were more or less impossible to turn. So that
Sure, in
meant
D&D
that,
terms, moose, yeah, with runes on it, with glyphs of
yeah.
warding.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this fortress, I think, is interesting that you can use the design of this in order to inspire fantasy fortresses, because this will be really, really hard to scale. And you can also see that instead of building the castle on top of the hill, they carved it into the hill.
Yeah.
That, because that way they can carve away and use that carved material to reinforce the stuff. So they basically used the material at the site, and therefore that made it a lot easier. And a lot of castles and stuff are actually used that way. They use the stone on the site, so you shave off some and simply chop up the hill itself, and then create the castle or the keep on top of it.
So even if there's no cannons, this makes sense for trebuchets, ballistas, onagers, all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So yeah.
Yeah. Because here you have almost
Catapults.
wherever you if you want to scale the walls closer to the keep, you will be attacked from 3 sides.
Chris.
So almost wherever you come up, you will be attacked from 3 sides with like siege engines. You will be attacked with things like crossbows and arrows and all sorts of.
Is this Castle Heart map too? Oh, there's the depths of it too.
Yeah, that's the 3D
depths of Castle Heart. I'm just looking to see what I have on my thing. Okay. Yeah.
So there we have some so you should definitely, if you want to design your own, and I'm doing that right now, I'm looking at a lot of the real world ones, and then I'm trying to come up with fantasy versions of them, so to speak, to dig in, and meaning how do you protect yourself against dragons and stuff. Well, we get to that later. So that was Castle Heart, is one of the
absolutely,
the kind of the that been most, I would say, displayed in products. The other ones are talked about, but Castle Heart was one of the few in GREYHAWK that is actually shown, that we have pictures of, and we know what they look like.
Yeah, I'm looking through, just seeing well, there's some other good towers.
There's plenty to choose from here.
Let's ask this question.
Yep.
Is this a practical keep? This is keep on the Borderlands. Is that that is fill the graph paper keep, as you can see.
And this is so funny, because when I saw these castles that were square with a little tower in each corner,
exactly.
I thought they were ridiculous. I thought they were ridiculous. I laughed at them when I was like 15, 16, 20 years old, and I thought, this is ridiculous. No castle looked like that, blah, blah, blah. And I thought I knew better. And lo and behold, the first time I came and I saw a real Knights Templar castle on Crete that is still standing to this day, and I saw it. It was a square one with a tower in each corner, and it had that one little center keep, so to speak, that was built along the wall. I think it's a part of the in the folder there. I think there's a picture I took. Yeah, picked 133. and picked 130 and picked 126.
What's the name? What is? I got them. I got them all titled. So
Yeah,
what am
so
I
it's-
looking for?
You're looking for that. They're called picked 126.
Picked.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. I
picked-
got it. I
yeah.
got it. I got it.
One,
There
two,
you
six.
go.
Exactly.
There you go.
I took these pictures back in the early 90s or late 80s or something like that. Or I think it was early 90s or something. And so this is no, I took them the second time I was there. The first time I was there, I didn't have even had a camera. But the second time I went to Crete, I took these pictures early 2000s. And it's interesting because this is just a square with a tower in each corner and some buildings that are partially ruined inside inside the courtyard, so to speak. So and this was built hastily, I think. It was not supposed to stand for hundreds and hundreds of years. It was built in order to protect Crete, to have the Knight Templars rule that part of Crete, so to speak. So it was
I got other
quick
pictures here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's several others. Yeah, there you have it from a distance.
I guess that's the best way. If you need to quickly build something, you can do it.
Exactly.
Right?
If you only have a few years, you need to have something there and to protect your bridgehead, so to speak, so you can go to the Holy Land. That was the goal. But Crete was on the way to the Holy Land, so they needed a staging area.
An acre was the drop-off point on the Holy Land.
Yeah.
Right?
So Crete was one of these stopovers they needed as a supply base, so to speak. So this was built as therefore. Now these openings are not arrow slits. These are things that were made, I think, in the Napoleon era, in the 19th century.
For rifles.
Exactly, for rifles and stuff. Yeah. So those are more modern. In the beginning, the original ones didn't have them, so they cut out these things and built them later.
Great question, Fantasy Grounds. The tourism museums explain the transport of materials to and such? Well, notice this is just stone and mortar, right? This is just rock.
Oh, yeah, exactly. These are just pebbles. They found boulders. They found laying around within a mile or so, and then they use mortar.
As you can see, this one's all mortar.
Exactly. It's
crumbling.
mortar and pebbles and boulders they found in the vicinity, and then piled them up and used mortar to, like the kind of primitive cement, to just put them all together and pile them up, so to speak.
Yeah, this one's not has not hauled from long distances, but some I imagine are.
Oh yes. Some of them are. Yeah. So this is just things that are within a few miles that just simply took whatever building material that was, and then they imported the mortar, so to speak, and they probably had that with them.
Oh, nice, Malin. You went to Castle Bran. I've often referred to as Dracula's castle. Very cool. All right, so on the Keep on the Borderlands one, here's another one. This is pre-canon. This one here, Anna. I thought you said this is one of your favorites. I thought.
Well, Sam Curtis, that one has been extensively renovated over the years, so to speak. So
this one you can see bricks, small bricks.
Oh yeah, this one is much more of a. This is
how high it is.
City wall. Yeah, city walls that are, and this is basically a fortified town or city. And you can see that there used to be a moat, and then that has been dried out over the later centuries. So the bottom quarter was probably underwater originally, so to speak. So they flooded it after they created it.
Where was this?
Hang on a second.
Southern France?
It's probably France or Spain. I'm not sure which one. Probably France or northern Spain.
Picture of that.
So but I think it's.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, it's so typical of how a lot of these city walls in will probably be this. You have a base that is way thicker to withstand, and then you have a straight at the top, so to speak.
So this one, they're making bricks somewhere nearby, and then they're just using the mortar as well on this one. Because look, the bricks are
these aren't bricks.
Oh, they're not.
Probably they are rocks.
They're rocks shaped.
Exactly. They take from a hillside. They chop them out. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
probably.
out.
Exactly. Not if you have granite. These are probably usually built out of limestone something. Yeah, something that is reasonably easy to chop.
Granite's tough to chop. Yeah,
exactly. Granite and similar are too tough.
Yeah.
So what you do is that, but it's only the outer shell that has these. The inside is filled with granite boulders or whatever material they can find, so to speak.
Right.
And then you put this outer thing in order to keep them together, so to speak.
Yeah. All right.
especially the bottom part is just filled in, and it basically what they've done, the city street level is probably
Ashlar
halfway
is the
up.
technical terms. Thank you, Alderaan. Sorry,
Yep.
Anna.
So the inside, where you have the slope starts, that's probably where the street level is on inside the city, because you don't want the risk of the water level or the moat flooding the city, so to speak. So what you did was that you dug the moat first, and then you dug it, but not the whole way to the adjacent river or lake, so to speak. And then you built all this, and then you opened the floodgate and flooded in the moat afterwards.
So on a smaller scale, this is kind of what I build with my miniature building authority on the outside, as you can see.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You see the top part, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's like a setup for a small. That is Forest Green Bastion in the southern gnarly forest. You know, and as you can see, I have one of the. I have a couple of these, but they're hard to work mathematically with that. That belongs in the 5-point star one in the back there. You know, so it's not straight lines.
Yeah, and another interesting feature is that the crenellation is normally only on the outside, because you don't want an attacker to be able to hide behind the crenellation if they take it. But I've seen examples of city walls that actually have crenellations on both sides, because the people in charge were scared of the citizens and the city folks as well as so they wanted the city walls to prevent the citizens of the city to escape out, as well as keeping intruders in.
So do we know, all right, so what city has this? I mean, GREYHAWK does, but they're not that close together.
No,
the
GREYHAWK,
towers.
according to the Gary site, they have double city walls.
Okay.
And several had double city walls in the real world too. Many of them had double or even triple city walls.
From Anna, the pic probably 10 years ago, right? The picture for this, Anna?
This one is probably about 15 years old
there
or
you
something
go.
like that.
Whoops, I put 115 by accident. 15.
Yeah, I haven't done much castle touring since I moved to California, but back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, I often.
How old's the building? Vacation. How old's the walls?
Oh, the walls are probably 12th century, 11th century, something like that. That's when the heyday of
so 900 years
like this. Yeah, but then of course they've been renovated and so on. Yeah, because you can tell these are pre-cannon era, and cannon started to be used in the 1300s, 1400s. So it's before then.
Is that that's a dump shoot, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what that is. I thought that was a cannonball hit first. I said, oh no, that's not what that is. So
and you see that the towers have been deteriorated a bit, replaced with wooden structure on top and stuff, which was not unheard of. A lot of times they for monetary reasons or lack of stone, they built towers of the top part of wood in order to make it taller and have it stand out. So
Dennis says was in a tower in Bologna, the 1400s, where the outer walls were encased in gypsum, very soft. The idea is that the cannonballs shatter hard rock, but the balls would just stick to the wall and not do it. Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting.
That's why if you take these later star forts and stuff, they were just big earth mounts.
Right.
They didn't put rocks in the front. They just piled up enormous amount of sand and dirt, because that absorbs the cannonballs much better than the old medieval castle walls. Because once you breach them with a cannon, they are useless. But a sand berm or like the deep ones, and then you put the wall on the inside, and then you piled on many meters, tens of feet of earth and boulders and sand and stuff on the outside to protect you. So
So those, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to assume
city walls. City walls are many cities are walled. Meaning Rel Devon is walled, Rel Mord is walled, Divers is walled. Neildra is one of these that are not. Yeah, exactly. Meaning we have lots of them that are walled, and some of them are walled. Meaning GREYHAWK and Divers are walled with big walls. Rel Devon has walls. We've heard in the stories, and there are plenty of cities. Critwall is walled as well. Yeah.
So
I put in double walls there too. Yeah.
And you want to make it so that I mean, you can do it however you want. So it's not completely. What would be the word? It's uniform. It's cool to have odd angles and things like that.
Oh yeah,
you know?
And they were often you were, especially city walls. You are and also big castles and stuff, you were limited by geography. The shape came from geography, so to speak, especially city walls. And some cities were built on the flat land just because it's easy to make a moat, and others are built on a hill just because that way it's defensible.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's every so many.
Exactly. Carcassonne in France is a good example of something that is built on a natural rock that is about that next. It's not far from a river or two rivers, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, as you can see.
Yeah, I tried to do that here.
Yeah, non-standard. It's cool. Follows the contours.
It's a bit like Carcassonne in France, but higher up than Carcassonne is a small little hill that sticks up from a plain, so to speak. Yeah.
So it's cool. Yeah, that would qualify as the other one there. Carcassonne. Yeah. So that's the thing is that there's so many different examples. So of you have a lot of walls and defensive towers, and so.
Castles also have different purposes, meaning some castles are there just for a ruler to brag, and you build a castle to show that I've conquered this or I'm ruling this. It's like a PR statement. It's a huge thing where a ruler lives in or just use in order to show off. That's one of the reasons. Now, other castles are built as military fortifications, meaning I want to hold on to this territory, and it's a way to house troops. So if the enemy, if Ius comes and invades, it's much better to station 500 troops in a fortress where they can be defended and they can defend the area. And Ius have to bring 10 times that many just to lay siege to it. Because that way, instead of having to station 10,000 troops, I can station 500 and they will hold the terrain and scout it out and have a safe base to return to. So it's a way of both make a statement and hold on to territory and protect your own troops. So that's another type of installation. You have the defensive keep that is there to kind of be the outpost or someplace where you can have your troops, give them a safe haven and a base in order to dominate an area. So
I want to share this with you, and it's out of this one that's shown below, castle sites. Is this realistic? Because we're going to use these. Hey, Dolwiz. This is called Watchtower. Watchtower 4, and it's just in the middle of nowhere, and it looks like more like a fortified manor house. As we go to the map here, that's
very common because a lot of lords back in the medieval times that there's several in among the pictures I have that there are just this fortified manors. That was very common especially in poorer parts of Europe, like the Nordics and other areas that weren't that populated, so to speak. Central France and Germany and Britain and stuff, they had a lot of rich lords that wanted to show off. But if you were out the countryside, if you were out in Wales or way from others, or place where you wanted to rule your lands, but you weren't the most wealthy, you built a fortified manor house so you can house your. Oh yeah, there's several. The Glimminge, there are several of them in there.
That one is this one we showed before, and this one is exactly that.
That's a typical one. This is from southern Sweden, and it's built by a Danish ruler back in medieval times. So this is a typical, strong, heavily defended manor house that is both the seat of residence. It's a barn. You can store your stuff. You can have your horses and your cows and stuff can seek shelter there, and you can invite your guests and stuff. And one of the cool things, there is one big door at the bottom, but if you look at it, there's a bigger door up on the third floor,
right?
And above it, exactly, they have a block and tally system, so they can hold things up to the third floor. Yeah, they have justing outside.
All right, here's one at distance. There you go.
Yeah, there you have it from a distance. The other buildings there are later additions, but early on it was the main building and the moat around it. That was it.
Okay.
And then the other buildings came in the 16, 17, 1800s. So yeah.
Rex Fellis asked the following questions regarding this: How common should big castles be in terms of frequency or population? Also, what is the relative frequency of large castles versus simple stone keeps or P towers? I'm probably there's a lot more of the simple stone keeps and watchtowers. What is the relative frequency of wooden versus stone?
Yeah.
It's probably
First of all,
yeah,
it depends on a lot of things. Meaning, first of all, how much money do the rulers have? That's one thing. Meaning,
it's a long shot.
It's how wealthy. Meaning, only the ones that have a lot of wealth to protect have the money to raise something like this and to build it. And secondly, you also need a lot of manpower. So you can't build it in an area where you only have a few souls, poor souls to build with. You need lots of manpower to do it. And it's also, you also need threats in an area that is very civilized and stable, and you don't have that many central urns. You don't need to. You build something that looks fancy in a city and stuff on. You don't need to defend. But if you live on the borders of Ayus or like in Altamira, where you have the Sus Forest and Pomarsh, a stone throw away, then you probably build sturdy and you don't need to look fancy. You just need to make sure that it looks sturdy and impressive when the danger comes. So both situation, political, military situation, and your economy, what building materials is there, and how much of a population do you have to rely on, both for labor and to protect and stuff. So all of this weighs in. So if you're rich and you live in you protect a mine or something like that, that can be, and you have a lot of enemies, then you build something really sturdy and to send a message. But if you're rich and you live in a big city or near a big city, you live and it's all peaceful, then you might instead build something that looks fancy but is not anywhere near as defensive, because then it's more like, I want to send a statement, I'm rich and I live here.
So with Glimmingiffus, if I said that right, how many like knights are we talking about in troops?
He probably, my guess, he probably had a retinue of like 50 or 50. So soldiers. Yeah,
but not 50 horsemen.
No, exactly. He was probably the only one. He was one of the kings, the Danish king's knights back in the day, and he probably had. Then he had his sons and a bunch, so maybe 5 to 10 of them could ride a horse and be good, so to speak, and then maybe another 10 or 20 or so. But also a lot of his staff could put on a chainmail and wield a sword if need be. And the farmers in the vicinity that was under him, if there was like the Swedes might come, and later on, when it became Swedish, the Danes would become. Then a lot of others in the vicinity will come and seek shelter, and they will also bring their weapons. So it might be several hundred people there in case of siege or something like that. So but on a day-to-day basis, probably not that many, 10, 20, 30 maybe.
Okay.
Including the staff. So
sense.
Professional soldiers, maybe only 4 or 5, because they all had other jobs. Yeah, meaning the stable master, he could probably wield a sword if need be and stuff like that. But that people needed to be useful. If it's only in areas where you have border disputes, like if you're in the middle of Furundi, it will be ridiculous to have hundreds of soldiers going around doing nothing. They would just be bored, whatever. But if you are on the Veng River near Molag or the Horn Society, you might have 500 soldiers patrolling constantly, being supported by the king or someone far off in order to patrol border areas and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, because if you're bored in the middle, you turn into the sheriff of Nottingham, right?
Exactly. They just go out and do stuff. So yeah, you want soldiers where they're needed, and you don't want to feed them and house them where they're not needed.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's a great observation. All right, so
yeah.
All right, Anna, give us another in GREYHAWK.
We have some stuff that are not in the real world but are very fantasy and GREYHAWK, and we have to talk about Wizard's Towers. because they are kind of a phenomena in fantasy, and they're definitely in Greyhawk too. So
Yeah. A couple Gary wanted to talk about. So if we talk about one that
oh,
Gary
yeah,
wanted
that
to,
we
I'll
that,
skip.
that we should
Yeah.
that we skip the one that I should mention. We talk about later. It's a silent.
Yeah, no.
Silent One's tower.
He
So
actually gave me the map for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's one he
exactly.
wants.
So
Yeah. So
we
we'll hold
skipped
off on that
so,
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
You
we'll hold off on Jalarzi's too.
Okay.
I have that
then we
as
skip,
well.
then we
Yeah.
skip.
Until he gets on.
Yep.
So how about
Mhm.
we look at like I want to show one. This is from the Castle Guide, which and I'll bring this up. It's this one, really great book. This is one of the splat books in 2E.
Yeah.
Blue.
Castle has or Rex Fellows
Yeah,
has a good
you might miss
question.
that.
Why
We
they
went over that
build them-
first. Yeah.
And why
Yeah.
do you make Starfort? Yeah, it's because when you build
Yep.
these bastions, that way if you want to scale the walls, you will be shot at from several angles. You want to force the enemy, if they want to scale the walls, you want to be able to hurl boulders and shoot arrows and cast spells at them from not only one angle, you want to do it from many different angles. So you build bastions that are higher up than the main wall, and they stick out, so to speak, and they
Yep.
are much more defended. And you build towers that's why the
Thanks,
towers
Tino.
are not flush with the wall. They are actually, I hope I'm heard. Oh, hang on a second. I just need to close the door.
No problem. No problem. So yeah, funneling in. We got classic D&D reprints tonight. Once again, I'm matching gift subs. Again, it is still September. Thank you for all the support so much.
I'm
so
sorry,
far. That's all right.
but a vacuum cleaner was trying to get into the room. Our Roomba.
So okay.
Yes. So you have the wall. You can see the towers are not flush with the wall. They stick out from the wall. That way you can shoot along the wall, and an attacker that is trying to scale the wall will be shot at from multiple
Yeah,
angles.
there.
And that's the idea here. So the towers are bastions that are higher than the wall, and they stick out, and they have much thicker walls and much harder to scale. So an enemy would like to scale the walls in between the towers, which means that they will be shot at from behind, from the sides, from the front, from everywhere. That was the idea behind the Starfort, was to maximize the defense, the value of the defenses. So you can, if you want, an attacker will be shot at from basically every.
Yeah, you got to remember, ballista, catapults, trebuchets work the same
Yep.
way as cannons, kind of.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah,
also
so-
spells are the same way, meaning you have a certain range.
Line of
Yeah.
sight. You want to be out of the
Exactly.
way.
Yeah, and you want to be able
absolutely.
to attack them from behind, so to speak, as well, and as from the
All
front.
right, I got fighting words here.
Yep.
Sam, because I know you and Anna will. So Sam put. I comment on that. One thing I will throw out is early castles, the wooden Mott and Bailey castles of the Normans, which you like. Right, the Mott and Bailey, yeah.
Oh
so,
yeah, they're such a standard, especially in France
I know
and
pictures.
England and Central and down in Europe. But they weren't that popular up in the northern parts because we weren't that civilized. We built these ancient
There we
hill
go.
forts types, so
Like
to speak.
this.
Yeah, exactly. There you have it. So you took a little hill, or you made a man-made hill, and then you put a little fort on the top.
This should be how a lot of the D&D stuff with a local baron should be, though. This is the set.
Yep.
This is the set for it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how you
Yeah.
start, so to speak. You build, and then you replace this with more fortified stone structures. And as you get richer and the population grows and stuff, and that will grow into a bigger village, and eventually it becomes a part of the city defenses eventually, or something. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great example of that. Let me see. I
Yep.
think that's the only. I have another one here.
There should be probably be.
There. I think that's from Troller Games.
That's even more typical. Yep.
right. Yeah.
Yep. That's so you build these separately, because
Yeah.
that way you
Yep.
could, and you also see that there is a defensive way you can get from the area where you live, and then seek refuge in the keep. So even if the town gets breached, you can still stay in the
Yeah.
keep.
Who cares about them? Oh, that's kidding.
Yeah. but
Yeah.
it was part of it. So yeah.
Well, look at all the wall levels and how many levels they lost in the Lord of the Rings movies. They lose the whole wall in
Yep,
Helm's
yep.
Deep. They lose the first full level of
Yep.
Minas Tirith. You know, so
Yep.
yeah,
It's all about winning time and to kind of weed out the enemy and kind of slowly he has to spend so much resources to get to the last bit that he will give up before that. That's the whole point, is to make sure that you need way more resources to actually to lay siege and to win it than on the offensive side rather than the defense. So it's a way of boosting the defensive value on the few defenders you have, so to speak. Because if you just are persistent enough, putting up resources, every fortification will fall eventually. It's just a matter of you have to spend more resources on making it fall than to actually build it. So that was the idea, so to speak.
Okay. So I want to know the feasibility of this fantasy drawing in the castle guide. Okay, and this is second good book, but
oh yeah, it's a cool
there
one.
you go.
Yeah,
That
yeah. That was it was not this. If you take an early era, like
Right.
early Roman era or something like that, before you had big siege weapons and stuff, then this wasn't too far off. And also, if you go to Germany and you look at a lot of city walls and castles there, they look like this because
Okay.
they were built not to withstand siege from the most impressive enemy army. They were there to show might and prosperity and to keep citizens out, so to speak, too. So it depends on who you, meaning, is your enemy Ayus and all his power, or is the enemy your local thugs and hoodlums that is they're threatening your wealth and well-being? This will not protect you against an Ayusian invasion, but it will definitely keep your stuff safer from your angry citizens that you put too much taxes on and you rob them of their liberty and stuff. So it depends on who your enemy is, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah. So and there is plenty of places that looks pretty much like this too. And so it's not unheard of, but these walls will not withstand siege engines or cannons or anything later on, so to speak. A full-on onslaught, no, but a mob of angry farmers, no problems.
Yeah. Okay.
They will definitely hold you safe, especially if you have some spell powers and 50 people with crossbows to defend it. Then you can defend it against an angry mob of 1,000 angry citizens. Yeah.
I know this isn't in GREYHAWK, but you know what this reminds me of? That keep.
Okay.
Ravenloft.
Yeah.
The original Ravenloft Castle.
Yep.
With the angled maps and stuff. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. So yeah.
And the reason,
which is I put placed in GREYHAWK.
Yeah. There's also a lot of castles that looks like this that were built in the 19th or 20th century to look like old medieval castles. I mean, if you have Hoschen, what's it called, Hollenstein in southern Germany, in Bavaria, and so they were meant to look like fairy tale castles, and that Disney used as a model for their castle that is now both in Disneyland and Disney World and stuff. So this type of castle have lived on through fairy tale stories, and there's several of them that are built in Europe in more modern times to look like old medieval castles and to look kind of fairy tale-esque, so to speak, whimsical and funny and so on, and almost comical. Yeah.
So Rex Fellis, in my game for that question, fireballs, lightning bolts, no. Rock to mud, earth elementalist spells. Do the rest on keeps.
But that is good because there was a third edition book. That was a third edition book on that had the rules on if you build one of these that you can find the spells and the stuff in order to safeguard it from things like stone to mud and pass wall and stuff. So
there's things you can make it impervious for that. Yeah, there's spells that'll do that too.
Yeah. And third edition had a whole little booklet, strongholds and something. Hang on a second, I should find it somewhere. I think it's here.
Because once you go past second, I don't have a lot of third edition ones. So
Yeah, it was one of these.
We're waiting for Gary to do Wizards Towers, everyone. All right, and
Yeah.
Specialty Towers. When Gary comes on, because he wanted to discuss them, we will do those. So
Yeah,
we're
I
just
can't
holding
find
off.
it at the moment, but it was one of these booklets from the third edition era that had the Stronghold Builder's Guide. Thank you, Sam. Yep.
So here's another thing in this Castle's Guide. One of them looks like a magical cannon, and you can ignore that one, Anna. But here's some of the. I mean, you got your ballista, you got your catapult, you got your trebuchet,
Yep.
right? You got your. I guess this is that's a magic cannon. I will allow them in rare occasions, just because of Merlin is the priest is running around, and his priests now can use smoke powder, which is the magical version of gunpowder. Right,
Yeah.
it's part of the game, but no, whether you want to do it or not, that's okay. So, but it's super, super, super rare. Yeah.
But
So.
siege weapon, I think, is really cool in a fantasy because you can add some magical stuff to it. Meaning you can put a fireball onto the ball, so you can hurl a ball of fire or acid or something like that. So you can kind of spice up your siege weapon with a little bit of fantasy help, and you can make them really, really cool. And siege weapon could be really big, and they could hurl like a ton of stuff for several hundred yards. So with a little bit of fantastic aid, you can do some really cool stuff with them. So yeah.
Yeah, Rock the Mud would get parts only of it down, but Pass Wall will go right through it. Look at the spell; that'll open up a hole for it. It's not permanent, but it's a good way to get in. So, yeah, that'll take you right into an enemy key. Well, I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Hey.
Break out the firearms. Yeah, super rare, but something dabbled. So here, just so you're aware of this. This is an old publication from Troller Games that may assist you. Well, Earthquake is the Earthquake will destroy anything. Lomas at 7th. He has 16th level priest to cleric to cast that spell. There's not many of them running around. It's Engineering Castles, which is Robert Doyle did this, so it's got a lot of good information for you on use, building types. Yeah, it's good. It comes at it from a little different perspective. Eras. Let's see if there's any.
And we also think, meaning since it was powerful people in the fantasy world that will build these things, they will probably put a lot more emphasis. If it was as easy to get in as just casting a pass wall spell, there wouldn't be any castles in GREYHAWK.
Right.
That was built for defensive purposes. So we need to. That need to be defensive spells to counter it. So to speak.
There is first level guards and wards is
exactly. There should be a lot
first edition. I'm saying.
Yeah. There should be a lot of stuff like that we don't have, because otherwise there wouldn't be any castles, which is kind of cool. So yeah.
Oh, cool. That one's still available in PDF from Troller Game Site Engineering Castles.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, so. Gary said he'd be on second hour, so we're getting close to it. So we're
while we're talking about other books, I can take this one. It's a really good book. It's Palladium's
cool
Compendium of Weapons, Armor, and Castles. Back in this one is from the late 80s, I think.
Malden sent me a picture from a place he visited.
Yeah. It's from 91. But it was actually in the 80s. It was small little compendiums. Then they put them all together in one book. You can find this one drive through it as a PDF, because I bought it in this PDF as well. And this one has a whole bunch of castle layouts and a little bit of history and stuff. It's fantastic. Pre-internet era, this was as best as you could get a source from and you have lots of really, really cool stuff. So this one is
what's that one called again?
It's called Compendium of Weapons, Armor, and Castles, and it's is
it Palladium?
You have lots of Palladium books. Yep.
It's probably almost impossible to get.
Yep. No, it's not. You can actually get it as PDF from Drive-Thru RPG. Yep.
Okay.
And you might be able to get it print on demand too. I'm not sure which, but it's definitely available as PDFs. And it has a lot of of the equipment
Oh,
and
cool.
stuff, and it's mechanics neutral, so you get like examples of weapons and a little bit of what they can do, but it's not written for D&D. It's more like a generic source book, so you have a kind of an idea of how much damage they can do and type of damage and stuff. But the castle design here is fantastic. It's super cool. You can use this you can basically copy the designs, change them out,
Thanks,
and put
Rob.
them in. And they come with an illustration and a little bit of text and a floor plan as well. A super cool book. Highly recommended. And there's some siege engines and stuff here at the end, and it talks about how you lay siege to a castle and how you defend it against a siege, and then you have siege engines and stuff here too. So yeah.
Yeah, so Rick Sauce asked a question on first edition siege rules. I never used them. Structure points and all. It's just too much to keep track of
No,
for me.
do a theatrical stuff on
Yep.
that. I mean, tell a good story and
Yep.
concentrate on what the characters do.
And a realistic
And-
spot
yeah.
when a wall breaches or when
Mhm.
something catches fire is
Yeah.
more than enough. I'm trying to find out when I did that last update, and I showed like here, is that it?
Yeah, fling poop over the walls or the severed heads of the
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah. Mhm.
You know what? It would be good if I'm looking in adventure logs, not in the Gabbins.
But yeah, Rick Felly, it's cool. Yeah, I have wargaming rules, simplified ones that I use
Yeah.
for my what I call surrounding battles. And Hawktails will come with surrounding battles. They will be included in. I'm actually having 4 levels of combat depending on how large scale you
I
want.
can't find them.
So that's will be part of it. So yeah.
Yeah, because you wanna have some realism, but you don't want to bog
Yeah.
the game down.
Exactly. It should
It's
just be
tough.
there to
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it should add some flavor to it, but
Right.
not bog it down. Yeah.
Right, and that's a tough mix. You know, the
Mhm.
balance there is not
Yep.
easy
Yep.
to do. But like you know, you have a spot where you get and the walls get breached,
Mhm.
or something wood catches fire, and then you know, so
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and bio
that's what I would
warfare
do, too.
with starvation and sickness were definitely tools used in order to win a siege, because all you wanted to do as an attacker was to avoid having to storm the walls. You wanted to make sure that the defenders were unable to defend, because otherwise you took an enormous amount of effort and risk in order to win a battle like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I wish I don't think I have those pictures on here, or I'd find
But
them for
one
you.
of the
yeah.
things that often happened in real world sieges and stuff too, that could be really cool to do in a role playing game, is that there was sometimes you get someone on the inside to open. Show a secret way in, or to be a
Right.
traitor, so to speak. So you can get someone's, so you can. Things like that happen quite often, that someone gave up when the siege started to get long. Someone gave up on the other side, so you can solicit help, and or you can kind of have that scheme of getting one out, and if you can get him out, he will give you the keys or whatever, something. So yeah.
314.
Yep. Treachery. Yep.
Let's see if I
And
can
that could
find
be
it
cool
now.
in a gaming situation, in a campaign too, especially if there is like an evil creature want to defect, and you have to figure out if he's actually true or not. He might be a double agent. You don't know.
Here comes Gary.
Mhm.
Awesome. So here you go, Rex Sauce. I've probably shown these. Gary, what's up?
He's
Trying to find,
connecting,
trying to find a good map thing with fire. All right, this is before underlays, but here you go. This is a Miniature Building Authority battering ram that got lit up as it was advancing. There you go. Yeah. So
cool.
that's you
Yeah.
know, and these are the higher walls that Miniature Building Authority made with the
Mhm.
higher battlements. This is Winchester's bulwark. So as you can see,
Yeah,
there's
they're
some
cool.
baddies on the wall. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's a cool piece, and there's some other ones too. Let me see if I
Yep.
have their siege towers here. I don't know if they're still available. Okay, so that's a side view. I'm trying to find the side view where the whole side's on fire. Here we go. It's probably a bad pick there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see it just into that where that section which was wood, which would catch fire.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah, Rex Fellas, that's a good question. Meaning,
Yep.
how was the minimum? And that depends. It depends what kind of threat you're having, so to speak. Who is coming and so on, and also the type of weather and what type of
yeah,
meaning if you all you need, meaning you have different type of attacker. You have the skilled specialists that might scale the walls at night, climb in and murder the king or the lord during the night, so to speak. And then they might get in even if you have a significant, so the guards need to be alert, so you need, and then it's basically up, you might need a guard every 20 feet along the walls in order to stop that from happening, so they at all times, which means that then you multiply the number of guards with like 4, because you probably need to have 3 off duty for each one that is on duty.
Once again, you're better doing a small scale fight of the greater battle.
Exactly. You
That's
do
what
that in your campaign.
After I did that Winchester's Bulwark one, and it took
Yep.
3, 4. It was
Yep.
forever. Rounds were taking hours. Gary, how are you?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
How are things? So let's real quick. Let's share 2. So the first one will be Malden sent me these. This is Castle Brandon, Romania, from the 1300s, and then Corvin Castle, Hunadora Castle, Transylvania, 1400s. So let me share these. Yeah. So let me bring these up. All right, we got them both up here. So Annie can comment on these for realistic. Look, you can tell that thing is.
There you can see that you build them in a place that is inaccessible to begin with, and then you add the walls on top, meaning those are hard to scale.
Yeah, it looks like. So is this been built around this natural outcropping here? Or is
exactly.
It's not deteriorating. That's just the natural.
That's a lot of it is natural then that you improve upon, so to speak, and often they built generations of it, so that might be what's left of the first generation, and then they built the second and the third and the fourth, so to speak. So
let nature do half the work if you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Now, why didn't Dennis send a picture of Melkosha Castle, his castle in GREYHAWK?
Yeah.
Well,
there you go. That's the.
I probably have it from the when we did the Malden celebration one at the beginning of the year, and this one is the other one. Look at that. Now,
and there you have the. Oh, sorry.
No, that reminds me of the castle that Jeremy from Gamescape 3D, that's 2 feet high, that Bill's still working on, and probably going to be working on through next year. It is so huge. That's what that reminds me of. Yeah.
And there you see the same thing. It's built on a cliff, so to speak. So it's you enhance the natural defenses that are there, and you also see that they built a walkway in wood around some of the towers as a way of saving a little bit of both weight and it was cheaper than to use stone. And then you can also see they have meticulations as well as crenellations. And meticulations are the way that the defenders on top can see down and shoot down along the wall, so to speak. So it's openings that are direct.
Aha! Look what I found on my computer. That's Melkot. Okay.
You don't need those, Anna, when you're firing magic missiles.
No, not really. That's the
They'll just like zip around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the picture from Malden's website?
Yeah. Well, that's the one that I had on my computer, and I have.
Yeah.
Then I have that. I have both of them.
There you go. Yep.
That's very similar. So yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So it has 2 levels. Yeah. Yeah, and Rex Fellas, it doesn't mean that all the people who are creating adventures know the ins and outs of castle design or why, right? So that's a good.
This is a perfect example because this castle doesn't have any strategic purpose.
Right, because it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's it's at the far edge of the Flannis, and it doesn't really guard anything.
It's the statement. I can build a castle here.
Yeah. This is a family building for 1,000 years.
Its size does matter.
But there is a lot of castles that were built as a
Which is cool.
statement, so to speak.
Yeah.
Some of them were strategic, but some of them were just there to show that I'm here, I'm ruling this land. Yeah.
Yeah, this gives me more Winchester Mystery House vibes.
Yeah. Yes. But I don't have the patience to write down anything this big. So my keeps are nothing like this at all. Nothing like it. So that's from the back view there on the ground. So very cool there, Dennis. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah. No, it's not Winchesters are not that opulent. Yeah, and that reminds me of it a lot of Melkotia right there. So.
Yeah, and Dulwich, you're absolutely right. In a fantasy world,
Of course,
you have
man.
to kind of look into the threats that you might face, so to speak. So if dragons are a thing, then you probably need to dig in more and do other types of defenses or fireproof it a bit and stuff. So yeah.
I believe, and I'm going to let Gary answer this, because Sam will answer this online because it's Keeland. The rich noble families of all the land that own the lands of Keeland, mine, Winchesters, whatever, they have fortified manor houses. That's what I believe. Not a lot of castles.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's one of the most peaceful lands in the interior. I mean, it would be almost a waste of resources to build something.
Right.
Well, they might simply have something to show off their wealth, and also to not have strong defenses is also a statement. I don't need them. I'm so powerful, and that I don't even need them because my country. I'm so secure in my position. So
that's the arrogance that I like for the Naheli to show in Nile Dra. They essentially built it has gardens instead of walls, and it hasn't been touched in almost 1,000 years. So, their arrogance has proved true so far, but it is a statement. It is a statement that you're untouchable.
Yep.
Well, unless you're in the movie and then someone kills you in the elevator and writes touchable on your, sorry.
But then the walls wouldn't have helped anyway. So yeah.
Well, then on the opposite side of the continent, you have a city like Relastra, which 150 years ago built another wall just against its own king. They didn't want the overking coming in too easily. So it's I mean every castle, fortified city. I guess you guys probably already covered this distinction between a fortified city and a castle. Not all castles.
Well, no, we did talk about the wall, fortified walls. We showed some examples of that.
But some of them are fortified. A whole settlement that is fortified, like a town or a city or something.
So that's the example of Spine Castle.
Right.
It is a city built for 10 to 15,000, but it is really a fortified city that has a defensive purpose as its primary purpose, but has a large civilian population.
Encounter online coming in. Shane, what's going on?
Hello.
Thank you so very much. Really appreciate it. We're at the legendary Pluvett Smeasure himself, Gary Julian, on. If you don't know who that is, well, Living GREYHAWK Gazetteer, first name, Gary Julian. There you go. Right there next to Eric Moan and Sean Reynolds and the whole crew. We're talking keeps, castles, and towers and fortifications for a GREYHAWK application, and we're talking Spine Castle right now, which is out in the Bone March. So,
try not to hold it against me.
But this doesn't. I mean, is this the outside of the walls into the city, and a tower overlooking defenses, according to this?
No, I mean this.
It's just
this was art done for the Mysterious Places article, and if I were to guess, this would be the view from the north coming towards the city from the back. But that castle is very fantastical. I'm not sure it would be an accurate.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was just all right. That was just a rendering then.
Yeah, I would see it as you have like a canyon or gorge that if you build it in the middle, it would dominate and make it impossible to go north and south. So it's like a point where you can cut off invasion from the north too.
Yeah, it's like a split castle with a low gatehouse joining both sides, so that
gotcha.
The gatehouse essentially is the bulwark against people trying to go north or south.
Of course.
Now, of course, since it's fallen to humanoids, this passage is not used very much like it used to be used.
Yeah,
but
so if we come here.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was kind of the northern gate to the area, so to speak.
It's on 566, correct? Or was that earlier? 556?
560, I think. 563.
Okay.
If you look at Anna's map,
Mhm.
you know, the number of places where you can get through these hills to Braddock are very few.
Yeah.
Right.
And we kind of decided that this Kalmar Pass is essentially the biggest one, the most traversable. So if you're not able to take this pass, you have to go all the way around the Loft Hills or somewhere deep in the Rakers and do a lot of climbing. So it's a strategic place. And
it's cool because there is Raddick Hill in the northern end and Spine Castle in the southern end of this pass, so to speak.
And then let's shout out Dale. He has his Highlander castles all right here, right near the where the North Kingdom meets the Beaumarch and the Dreadlord lands. We need a map. We need one map, Dale. So there you go. Of that. So yeah, and this is a place that I know you adventure in. Les does a ton of adventuring. In fact, there's virtual crowd kind of adventures for this coming up in 2.5 weeks. So that'll be a fun time. So, yeah. So Gary, thoughts on Spine Castle's just falling into disuse? I'm assuming they're not repairing it. They may be repairing the walls, but the rest of it. Oh, we lost Gary.
Uh-oh.
I'm talking and we lost him. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he might come back again. So
there he comes. I'm talking and he ain't listening. Duh. There we go.
We'll see if we get him back.
DC.
Yep.
Test.
Yeah, you heard.
Yep, it works. Yep.
So my question was that Spine Castle is probably falling more in disuse and they're not very good, the humanoids, at rebuilding it properly for defensive purposes?
Certainly not with the same quality that the humans maintained it. I mean, yeah, a lot of it is in ruin.
Okay.
Now the keep itself is fairly intact.
Okay.
So, but unfortunately, it's also pretty dangerous. People don't want to go in there because they usually die.
Yeah.
So it's, along with like Castle GREYHAWK, it's one of the great dungeons potentially of the Flannis.
Yeah.
But unlike Castle GREYHAWK, this one has not been explored.
Right, or written up, right?
Oh, correct. And it's not been a dungeon for very long, since it only fell like 30 years ago.
And if you're using standard game time and you're not like jumping way out ahead of time, the answer is to that, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very cool. So the question would be, are you working on that? Or is Les working on that?
Hopefully we're both working on that.
There you go.
Jason Savoda left a bunch of characters and materials for that. So what I'd like to do at some point is put together a gazetteer of Spine Castle and dedicate that to Jason.
Awesome.
Put his material in there, and then Les and I will fill in the rest. And I think it would be a lot of fun.
So, Rex Fellis, I think you're asking a really tough question, but let's try this. How many castles per hex, or how many hexes per castle on the Darlene map? I think there's a lot of open terrain. Like you're not finding, like if you go here, you go to the center of Fiorundi, you're not finding a lot of castles in the center of Fiorundi. You may have one or two.
I would say, Rex Felix, it depends where you're looking.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys discussed this earlier. I missed the beginning, but for me, castle building is essentially an Iridian thing. You know, obviously the Sewell built some fortresses, Baclunish, and maybe the Flan built some settlements.
A small scale is
I can imagine Flan doing wooden palisades and other kinds of more traditional, older technology. But when you're looking for, serious castle building, look in the former footprint of the Great Kingdom. So wherever the Great Kingdom was, that's probably where you're going to find a lot of castles, and often in those frontiers. And as the Great Kingdom retreated, a lot of those castles became abandoned or taken over by other people.
Or undead.
Or undead.
Yeah.
Hey, the Great Kingdom has a lot of castles with undead in the heartlands.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably strewn all about in the Great Kingdom and South Province and North Province and Almor and Medegia. Yeah, all over. So, yeah.
Yeah, but if you were going to say, like, which castle in the entire continent has the most, like, stone contributed to defensive purposes, I would say that it was Spine Castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then second might be Iron Gate.
Yes.
So Iron Gate is another fortress city that has elements of a castle, but it's on a much grander scale and doesn't have the trappings of a traditional castle.
Look at this article you and Malden wrote right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did. There's an entire Legends and Lore on Iron Gate, everyone. It's probably 3.5 years old or whatever, but it's on there. Just search Iron Gate on YouTube, and you will find it.
Now, I would say that this is potentially a very accurate photo, except for the overhang. I would not make the overhang too extreme.
Right.
Maybe I'd pull it back just a little bit, but otherwise, it essentially sits on a big, magma extrusion that's in between these hills. So it's on a mesa that is very hard to attack.
When there we have on hang on a second. Melcott.com, there is a map of this, so let's see if we can
Yeah, the map predates the art, so it probably doesn't match up perfectly.
If I remembered, if I had known, I would have gone to my Iron Gate folder for Legends and Lore. But my guess is it's on the old machine.
It matches the
geography, I think.
Matches the well. Yeah. If you look at that, it matches this illustration really well.
Yeah. So Iron Gate sits on this mesa.
Yeah.
And on either side are these formidable hills with dwarves and mines and all sorts of installations.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it, if it's on my machine on here. Just type Iron Gate. If there's a map to be had, I'll have it, but I don't think there will be.
Absolutely be fan fun. It's a testament to the dwarves.
It's on the old machine, unfortunately. I had the Iron Gate heraldry.
So you guys are probably aware that the Aerdi actually have a god of fortifications and castles.
Yeah,
right?
Darren.
Yeah, that's right. So Iron Gate is largely one of the centers of her worship, and has a temple to Darren and all sorts of dedications there.
Was Darren a paladin?
I don't think so. I think she's neutral.
Okay. I could have sworn that Carlos made her a paladin. But that doesn't mean that it's correct.
No, it just might be homebrew.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Sam. Darren Dimensional Forces is so. You heard Gary, right? You heard. I put 4 deities up for vote last week on Gabin. I'm going to create a specialty priest from scratch. So.
Oh, what were the 4 choices?
Brandabaris, Celestian, Rudd, Pyremius, and Brandabaris by a nose.
Okay, that would have been not my order, I think.
Yeah, Celestian and that was tied, and it came down to so. But I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna attempt to do a Celestian one in the near future afterwards too, because I don't have one. So just dab water. That's funny. So. Yeah, so Iron Gate is an impressive location on the map here, as you can see. Is this an underground river? Is this river underground?
No.
Okay, it's not. All right.
It's a river, first bit, so to speak, it's a southern bit, and then there's a little bit in northern end too.
The river's kind of carved that valley.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And at times has run. Okay. To the east of Iron Gate, and at times runs to the west. It flips sometimes, and so it's created kind of a marsh to the west. But yeah, I mean it's probably by square footage, the largest castle-like feature in the Flannis.
Yeah,
because the whole thing's a keep, basically one huge
mile-wide keep with 7 levels descending, so into that
So it's bigger than Minas Tirith because it's bigger than that's bigger. Well, not a
It's
mile.
about the same size.
Same
yeah.
size. Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Minas Tirith from the movies were big. But
Okay.
Iron Gate is the same league, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except you can't see a lot of it because it's
Yeah.
inside the rock.
That's very cool. I did not know it was that large. Oh, I thought that there was defenses, then there was city sprawl behind it, but there's not. Is what you're saying?
No, it's built into the. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
No, it's in some places you could only reach it by flying bridges, which can be collapsed or destroyed
Oh.
Yeah.
quickly if an invader was,
Yeah.
about to take the city.
So
We
the
have
only way to
another
take
one.
it would be from the inside.
Yeah. We have another one
Yeah.
that is built on roughly the same, both an old one that is now ruined and a current one. And I'm talking about Veralos in Rift Canyon and Rift Crag are both cut into the hillside, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a citadel, which is a form of castle. It's a
Yeah.
form of fortification.
Mhm.
I should have sent you a picture of that, Jay, but if you've ever seen the cities built by the Anasazi in New Mexico, it has that
Yeah.
vibe.
Yep.
Yep.
It's so you could be walking on the lip of the Rift Canyon, you would not know the city was there.
Yep. And it's not built on top of it's
Right.
carved into rather, because that makes them much more stronger than when you cut them out of the mountain rather than building them on top.
Definitely. You just have to worry about the Underdark creatures
Yeah, exactly. They're
getting
coming
into your
from-
city
Mhm.
from other directions. But yeah,
Yeah.
since this is 3 miles deep, that's
Well,
a
at
lot
least.
of distance. Yeah.
A lot, yeah. It needs to be way deeper. We talked about that previous, but since it's that big, 3 mile deep would be like the Inland Empire Plains in LA
Wow.
with mountains on the side.
I mean, if
Yeah.
it's sheer 3 miles, that's impressive. I mean, if you
Oh,
stood
yeah.
near the edge of that, you'd be,
Oh yeah.
you'd definitely be scared.
Was Verlis
Yeah.
around old school, or did it come in the third edition?
I think it's mentioned earlier, but then it was detailed in later, if
Okay.
I remember correctly. Yeah.
So it's the place where I decided where it's the place where Zagig and Merlin and a lot of these deities discovered probably the greatest magical hoard they ever discovered.
Oh.
So yeah.
Well, good for them. Fantastic. Did not know that.
Including the book that Igwil would turn into the Demonomicon.
Ah.
Yep.
What were they Flan? Verlis?
Yes.
Yeah, originally,
Urflan.
yes.
Urflan,
Yep.
got it.
Yeah. Maybe the last vestige of the Isles of Woe that was not destroyed.
Huh. Learn something new every day. We really do. Excellent.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, definitely.
In the Mysterious Places article in Dragon?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, so where to next? Now we can hit some towers up, right? So Wizards Towers we haven't touched.
Yeah.
yeah.
Go from a couple of wizard
Although
towers.
before you go to Wizards
Yeah,
Towers,
yeah,
I would like
please.
to mention some
Yeah, of course.
some unique towers on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I think this is something that isn't in the canon, but I think you could assume that it would be true. And if I were DM, I'd definitely play with it. The idea that there's celestial towers devoted to Celestian for viewing the sky, observatories.
Oh yeah.
So I would put those on the hilly portions of the East Coast.
So over
And-
here,
But they will
Gold
be
Cliffs.
reasonably close to cities and stuff, I guess, because
Yes.
those priests don't want to go 500 miles out in the wilderness.
I put
They-
them on the highest point
Hill,
of
yeah.
Relastra. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 miles away from cities, so they can go there and overnight and do their observation, and then go back home to a nice dinner and a nice city estate. Yeah.
All the way keep from U3, yeah.
hmm
That's a prime castle to mention. Yeah, that's Gauntlet and a Sentinel, correct? Yeah. So, all right, cool. So you think that there's a lot of here? Look
Well,
at these. Right here, they are. Look at these sea keeps right here.
hmm
yeah, sea keeps are like lighthouses,
Okay.
but definitely defend against the regular raids from the snow barbarians and the frost
But the
barbarians.
interesting part is that they seem to build the keeps in the the area that doesn't have any big cities.
Yeah, it does.
In reality, the keeps will be built where you have farmlands and other resources that you needed to defend, not along the most remote part of the. But on the other
It's a little
hand,
strange.
but on the other hand, they might be built there because no one lives there, so they want to make sure that they
these
don't
may be,
take over and start building towns up there, so to speak.
yeah, these may be like naval bases from which complete navies are deployed when they're, spotted.
Or you want to make sure that they don't build a bridgehead and start a town up there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If the first sea keep spies what do you call it, Drakkar, or
they can
they can alert the second keep, the third
ship.
keep, the fourth keep to keep marshaling their forces.
Jim Seguier asked a question. Why don't we answer it about? Not sure if it's come up already. We viewed comments about the fortifications of Alyssa, Zeldraton, but Sergeant described a few others in the hex pools and late ID frontier. Gary, any knowing about that? Alyssa?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of fortifications, castles, and stuff created by Sargent that some of them quite fantastical. But if we went over every castle in the setting, we would not need more than 2 hours.
I don't know, since it's my side of the map. I don't know.
Blue Load and Salt Keep and Nullbish and
what is that, Ice Spire out there?
Timberbend,
here's Hexpools.
Then we have Strand,
Castle,
and
Alyssa,
so
Kerba, they're all keeps. Right, Kerbazane is one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about them.
Barstranak, that has a poem dedicated to it.
Yes.
That's where I took it from. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And we have, those are the, a bunch of, but those are, we have a Wiventor, is a southern keep on the southern Alyssa border back in the day. Not far from the belching vortex of Leuk U. Yeah.
Look at the road between Roxy's and Relastra, north of the Grandwood.
North of the Grandwood.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
A little further east.
Yeah, we have a couple of them. We have Morshaldin Castle. We have
so Morshaldin Castle was the home of the Knights Protector of the Great Kingdom.
But we have one on the coast that is a ruin that me and Gary placed.
Yeah. So there's St. Cargoth's ruin is further north.
Up north,
go
south
north,
of Winetha, between Roland and
go north of Roland and
this one, Farland. This one.
Yep.
Farlands.
It's right on the coast.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's one of these what I would call inferred places because it's not on any map anywhere, but it's mentioned that he is from there. So that's why we placed it there.
Yeah, and potentially another unexploited dungeon if you are brave enough to explore the ruins of a Death Knight's castle. But awesome
adventure location. Yeah.
Yeah. So not everyone's going to build a tower, right? Fortified manor houses are much more nice to live in. So towers serve a purpose.
Well, tower is kind of a small version of a fortified manor house, or vice versa in some ways.
Yeah, I would say in the world of Greyhawk, you'd actually probably err on the side of having more fortification than less, because what you're really keeping out is monsters, orcs, other
and angry
dangers like that.
Neighbors, in general. Yeah.
So it depends on how close you are to a borderland or a wildland.
Or how bad of a ruler you are. if you're really bad towards your population,
you have to deploy yourself against your own population.
Here are two towers, Wizards towers in mine: Golden Tower, Lane Winchester, and Lightning Rod Tower. Tim, who's on, that's Fensix. So there. So, because it's a kind of a joke, we named it that.
Rick Spellis, that is a really good question that I try to have an answer to in my game. Why they build towers?
Well, I still one thing I think goes back to Tolkien. I think goes back to Orthanc.
Yeah, but why do they
Because
build
they want to
tunnels?
overlook everything. They want as far
Uh-huh.
because a lot of their stuff's sight. That's why I always said, and they want to look
Mhm.
beyond like the normal distance. Yes, he's got the largest rod. That's funny, Tim.
Mhm.
But also you want to have high up levels for where you're doing your experiments because you don't like going into the ground. I don't. I have no idea. I'm just trying. I'm just spitballing here.
I try to put a mechanical reason for it, so to speak. So I have it that you can
Right,
detect
in the high
magic
ground.
and stuff out to you have arcane sight and stuff that you can do it out to the horizon. So you don't do it further than the horizon, and the taller tower you have, the further away you can see,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe magic works like radio signals with interference. I mean, you want
Yeah.
to be away from the ground where there potentially are other sources of magic to
Yeah,
interfere
you
with
also
you.
want to detect if someone's casting spells on your premises. That means that if you're high up, you can see further, and you can detect them at much greater distance than if you're down.
Yeah, I've kind of
And it's a statement, yeah, as
I've
well.
kind of decided that, because this is a fantasy world, that there are fantasy solutions to some of
Yeah.
these problems, and I think wizards, even lords, build castles with magical assistance to resist certain things. So, for instance, I have like the Silent Tower. You can't teleport in there. You can't dimension door. You can't do anything that would allow you to enter without their permission. So, and that's just built into the mortar of the tower.
Speaking of that, let's bring that up.
Yeah. But I don't like absolutes. It's a DC, meaning if you're really, really
Upper and
if
lower
you're a
levels.
weak fledgling wizard and you build with your mortar, then if the archmage come, he might cast
A more powerful,
pass
a major power probably can get.
But the Kyoish Empire can muster some good mortar, so to speak, that is well defended. Yeah.
Thanks, Curtis.
Oh, that's an awesome sketch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 30 years ago, I sent a sketch to Eric of this tower, and it was turned into a little map for the Living Greyhawk Journal 4 article on the Silent Ones.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Curtis. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, the well, so it goes down into what's that cenotaph?
A cenotaph is essentially a burial place for a body that's not even there. So this is where the Silent Ones essentially memorialize Slaroten and his legacy. So his body is not there, but that's where they have essentially put all his artifacts and relics.
I did not know that. So DM's like, "Where's your dragon?" Well, Dave, hey man, he's got the Visions of GREYHAWK shirt on, which is cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have time to change my shirt.
That's all good. Yeah, and so we got levels down below. This is a large, it's larger than you think. Yeah, it's a large tower. So
yeah, it's about 70, 80 feet wide and over 300 feet tall.
That's big.
It's maybe the biggest tower in the Flannis.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, so it can hold hundreds of people.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of flying servants, absolutely, like dragons or pseudo dragons, or or wyverns or hippogriffs or pegasi or.
I mean, this tower stands alone on a very flat plain, so there's like nothing around it for miles. Relastra has the opposite. It has like 24 towers that are really close together and interconnected with flying buttresses and bridges and even dimensional doors. So it's
Am I close to Silent Tower here?
Yeah, a little bit south.
South.
Yeah, go down to Nile Draw and then look south.
Oh, okay, it was too far. Still don't see it.
There you go. And it has a little symbol there.
Yeah, you have the heraldry there.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay. It's not far from Nile Draw. Got it.
Yeah, so you take this tower road, you have to walk past it.
Well, I imagine if it's that high, because I'm just thinking the size of that in real days is a conical cooling tower for a nuclear plant 300 feet high.
A
Close-
lot of towers are
close to
and
it.
Chimneys. I've seen several chimneys in the real world that are 100 or 300 feet
Yeah,
tall.
I mean,
yeah.
so it's visible for miles.
Oh
Miles
yeah,
and
you will
miles.
you will
yeah.
see that one 3,
Yeah.
4 miles away, 5
Yeah.
miles probably. Yeah.
Right. So, and note there's not much else around it either. So, but then again,
Yeah,
you
it's
could,
pretty flat around
yeah,
there.
yeah, you could
Yeah.
fill that in yourself.
If it's flat, you will see it for 15 miles or more, 20
So,
miles even.
the
Yeah.
Seekers don't have a tower; they have more hideout organizations, right?
That's right.
Okay.
No fortified.
The silent ones are badass, right? They
Mhm.
decide we're going to do this. So, speaking of another tower, this one is so cool. It is in an adventure, right? So if we come to, let me close some. I get too much stuff open. Come to Return of the Eight, right?
And Tensor's Castle.
No, ha 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 ha. Jalarzi's Tower in Greyhawk City.
Mhm.
First, I mean, it's got a blue continual light spell on the top, and it's got multiple levels. It's stands out. It never stood out before in the Free City Greyhawk box set, but this kind of stands out a little bit more in this. So yeah, Tensor's Tower is up, especially up in the But if you're looking in the city, and I got a couple of maps here for the levels.
Yeah, Moose, that's the thing. You can see them from really far.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. Second and third floors. I only got the first couple of floors, but they're done. They're part of the adventure. But yeah, that's really that really stands out high above a lot of the others.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have a map of Tensors. Hold on one second and see if I do.
There's
I
a
do.
picture in one of the Gord books
Is
as
there?
well. Yeah.
I have
of Tensors.
I have this. This is main grounds of Tensor's Castle, and then the tower in the middle.
At Mage Point, yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
Rick Miller is doing a write-up on Mage Point, which is really cool. So we'll see that in the future.
Oh,
Awesome.
really? Nice.
Yeah, with a map and everything.
Yeah. She got off Alaluk? No, Alaluk had a house. There's an adventure, BB, in a dragon that auctions off Alaluk's house because he hasn't come back even after Return to the Eight, right? So actually, it is owned by Alan's gnome illusionist thief now. He owns it. He bought it. And he spent 41,000 gold pieces to get it. So there you go. So tall enough tower at the center of perfectly. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. On that distance. So this is not it's a large tower, but it's not super large. Tensors, and then we got 6 levels, I think, of floors. 5th. Yeah. 6th, 4th. Yep. That's it. So. That's a good question. I don't know that. There's got to be math on that based on the curvature of the Earth that I do not know. Yeah. Why? What do you mean, Gary? 21.2.
So if you're 300 feet high and you're on Earth, you can see 21 miles to the horizon.
How'd you know that?
There's a bunch of online calculators you could Google.
Wow.
Yeah. You can see about 10 nautical miles at sea level.
Exocells.
Yeah. Roughly. Yeah.
No,
and that's the radius, so you could see, 21 miles in both directions.
Yeah.
No, but BB, Alec was the head of Society of Magi, and then got killed by Rari and Lorablar, and Rari the traitor, and then he was not brought back. He was destroyed, whereas Tensor came back in this Return to the Eight, which we're showing here. So, yeah. So, nice sized towers.
For almost 40 years, I thought that Alaluk was Luke's character.
Because of the name. Yeah. No.
But he confirmed there wasn't.
Yeah. Let me see what else I have here. Large icons. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's dark. Oh, I do have these. I didn't even realize I had these. So I don't think they're in Greyhawk. The only one in the Castle's accessory is Heart. That's Greyhawk, right? The others, one's Darkhold's Forgotten Realms, and Drungar is Dragonlance, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of which other ones we have maps. Who played Luke? I think Luke was an NPC.
I think that's what Luke said. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was a PC character played at all. He was NPC. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I think he was. No, Lomas. I really like Return of the Eight. It's on my wall of fame. I like it a lot. No, Roger did a great job with it, so that was one I really enjoy. Why do you ask that question? There's some to be disliked, but it's the only one. It's the only one on my wall of fame that's from second edition.
Okay.
Adventures. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm almost positive Aluk was an NPC. He was not a player character. He was a member of the Society of Magi. He was the president of the Society of Magi in Greyhawk and a member of the Circle. So, yeah. Yeah. So, that I had oh gosh, who wrote Ready Trader? I had him on a few months ago, and oh my god, I had him on Gavin a few months ago.
Oh, the author of
yeah, remember? Oh my god,
Anthony Pryor.
Yeah, Pryor. I had him on, and he's like, yeah, we wanted to. I had my orders, he said.
No, he seemed like a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, very laid back. So one thing is most annoying about the World of Greyhawk box set was the lack of write-ups of any of the major. Well, there was a lot, and I'm going to say that was in an area where Gary was not concentrating a lot on the game, was out doing his thing, which is understandable. I mean, you had the D&D cartoon come out right around then, and so the game itself was in maintenance mode for a lot. There's a lot of adventure because think about this: Temple of Elemental is still not out yet at that point. It comes out 85, 86, 85. I'm waiting for it since 79. I'm waiting for that Temple of Elemental. When's it coming out? Right? There's a lot of that happened, and
it is fair point. I mean, when you're a freelancer, you're not always free to do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah.
So you sometimes have to, work within the framework they give you. It's like if you took over Spider-Man and writing his comic book, you can't suddenly change his costume and, his origin story just because you wanted to.
Yeah, true. Even it sounds like they've changed it like 30 times in the movies, right? Yeah. Lots and lots of times. All right. So what other locations you want to discuss? Or let me see. I'm trying to see what else I have in here. I have a lot of, we've gone over a lot of them already.
I can mention my favorite that I want to desperately to make good.
Yeah,
that's
please.
Gibbering Gate.
Oh gosh.
That's one of my little pet peeves that I want to do.
That's funny, Anna, because I like Onyx Gate.
Oh.
In Almor.
Gibbering Gate's out here somewhere, isn't it?
I feel like we missed a lot of opportunity to play around with Duke Zephyrin and all his
yes,
evil.
I had that for my Rel Devon campaign. He was major villain in that one, so yeah.
Gibbering Gate, right? And then we have Onyx Gate. Where is it?
Onyx
Almor?
Gate. It's in Almor, yeah. Or Niron, depending on when you.
Am I missing it here? So I see it. I see it. Oh gosh, you guys can't see it because I know. Duh. There you go. Onyx Gate, Almor. Why there? That's a weird spot.
That was the front line between Niron and Zephyrin or Grey Kingdom.
Okay.
So that's why it was built there.
And if I recall correctly, this is not a pre-existing castle. It's literally something maybe raised with demonic energy or demonic.
Oh wow!
It was raised in the war by Duke Zephyrin to kind of establish his position there. So yeah.
And if you look at Anna's map, you could kind of see it shaded like that might be the top of some height.
I just
kind of
had
like
to
a soft hill there.
Darken it because of his demonic influence or diabolic maybe rather than demonic. Yeah.
Oh no, he served Pazuzu, so he's
Oh,
demonic.
he did. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
That Pazuzu is everywhere.
Oh wow, you wrote. I actually use Gibbering Gate, and I use a meta regional. I wrote for Living Grilk in year 5. But what is the adventure that Carlos wrote that isn't he has one going in? Is that not Gibbering Gate, or is that a different place? I thought Carlos.
It's been a few things here and there, but I'm not sure if Carlos have done anything up there. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So I have another place, and
yeah, please.
has anyone ever done anything with Blackmore Castle?
Not
I mean,
yet.
it's one of the most famous castles in the setting,
Mhm.
but obviously for political reasons, they weren't going to publish
There will be Arn Castle from now on.
from now on. But I'm wondering if anyone ever developed it or decided what was going on there. It seems weird for the Iridians, the Arity, to build a castle so big, so far from the
Right.
center
I
of their
have it.
empire.
It was originally a Sul castle.
That would also beg questions like, why are the Sul there? Why did they go so far north?
Because they were. It's part of the first Sul Empire. Because there was warmer times back then, so that was part of the eastern, eastern foothold, so to speak, back in the day. So it's actually the foundations of it are over 3,000 years old. That's how I have it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then it was taken over used by others afterwards, so to speak. But it's prior to the
There goes
Ice
Oliver.
Age.
Robert the
Yeah.
First built Blackmore Castle. Blackmore expert.
Yeah.
I
Is
got my
that from,
Blackmore campaign book too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Iridium Warlord, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep.
There you go.
They were the next one to, or well, then you have the Flan Bacloony coming in and others. So it's been, people have come and gone through the history, so to speak. That's just a Meyerhawk version of it. Yeah.
No one's written up the Rotted Tower yet.
Not in detail, no.
Not in
as
detail.
far as I know.
No.
Yeah, it is also a ruin that probably
Mhm.
deserves to become a dungeon, a famous dungeon, if we can.
Yeah.
It should. And the question
Yeah.
is
Maybe it's all water filled,
is
so it's.
I don't know about that. I think it's higher up. It's way north of his right. It's way north.
Yeah, I would probably assume that it was toppled,
There's
but
Fleeth.
there's probably dungeons underneath.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Will has anything about it in his Halfling book. So, kind of finished up with Wizard's Towers. I mean, they're just, some good.
Let's look at one more.
Yeah, please.
This may be the furthest one in the Flannis. Go up to the coast of the Drawmidge Ocean.
Yes,
Yeah.
there we go. The 6-shooter.
Merlin's.
Yep.
Merlin's Castle.
Merlin's Castle.
Where?
North.
Go north.
Go north.
It's further north.
Further
Zoom in.
north.
Oh my gosh.
There you go, and there you zoom in. Yep.
Keep going.
Yep. How
There
the
you
heck?
go.
So
Right there.
this is probably frozen over 9 months out of the year.
Yeah. Mhm. That might be why he built it there. And we have another one. We should mention Mordenkainen's hideout, his Obsidian Citadel.
The Obsidian Citadel in the Yaddles.
Yep.
Yep.
Another famous.
And then we got another one too. You should go over. Wait a minute. All right. So okay, where is it near? There it is.
I'm not sure it's described. It's just mentioned to be up there, Merlin's Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the reference from?
I forgot where it was, but it was mentioned.
It could
I
be
think-
a Len Lehman travel thing, maybe. No.
Yeah, or it might be one of these mysterious places things that it might be mentioned.
Yep, there's Eagles Horn. Yeah, there's where Sokanth and our favorite, Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, which I ran at Founders and Legends 3 days worth with our good friend Todd Stashwick playing. And if we had a double weekend, I'd run Shokanth this year because I think that Tharizdun should be run before Shokanth, and so does Carlos. But then we forgot another one. I don't know if Troy is on or not. Is that a tower underwater?
Drawmage is a sea tower. Yeah,
Yeah, there you
it's
go.
underwater.
Yep.
So very cool.
I imagine all the Circle of Eight have some special fortresses.
Yeah, that kind of comes with the job description, I guess. Yeah.
Except for maybe Otto, who just sits at a restaurant all day.
Yeah, and eats, right? Yeah. So he's like, I don't need a
Yeah.
tower.
I mean, they should have made him the gnome. He already looks like a gnome.
Yeah.
See, you had to bring that up and remind us all. Oh my God. It's so painful. Otto had it right. Yep. And then,
Otto and Curtis separated at birth.
Yeah, there you go. You got, and if you look here, you got Mar Castle here, right? There you go. Another keep.
Another
mega.
Probably the second most famous castle after Greyhawk. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
of course. And this is moved multiple times. And this is on Mike Schley's map. Is moved. It's not here.
Yes.
It's not
I
there.
have to say, I'm not a fan of the Cross River Castle.
No, it's originally it was probably, according to Alan, it was meant to be east of the city. So
yeah,
that's where I think I will move it to that part.
I feel like if you were in the city and looked to the east, you would see it in the heights.
Well,
above. And if you were at the castle, you could see the city and spy.
Look at this. Look where it is here. See it?
Yeah.
Huh. It's way over. It's almost a Robbler's Keep.
It's like 30 miles away from on that map. Yeah.
It looks. Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's. Sorry, I shouldn't have said it that way. Yeah, I would have it east of the city.
Yeah,
in the heights.
I think I want to have it too. Yeah.
And I think Alan's right. I think that's where Gygax had it. I don't know if they moved it just to create this bridge, but you would think that there would be a settlement straddling Greyhawk on the other bank.
That is Far Banks or whatever it's called. Hang on a second.
Yeah, Far Banks.
Yep. But that one is a questionable origin. Might be I'm not sure if I came up with it or not, but yeah. I might have created that one. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh, you could see Robilar's Keep a little further back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's almost where Castle Greyhawk is now. Castle Greyhawk's right here, according to the Schley map.
And I placed it there. I'm not 100% sure that is. Yeah.
From Treasures of Greyhawk. Yep.
Yeah.
Ghost Tower Inverness is another famous.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But
yep.
When it's there. Yep.
Yep.
Here's one I love. It's not far. Don't tell me that she got killed and live in Greyhawk. Oh, you shut up. It's Karastein's Castle. I mean, that's an impressive. That's an impressive site. Yep.
Yep.
And then you have Smokewall Castle.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Mastrine's, which is right there.
No, hang on a second. We have Smokewall is the Free Reavers.
Oh, that's the Free Reavers. What's Mastrine's called? Yeah, you're right. Duh.
Just Mastrine's
Castle. I thought he had. Yeah, you're right.
I don't think it has a special name.
You're right. I apologize. Oh man, what a mess up by me. I should know that.
It's okay. No worries.
Yeah. So Smokewall.
Yep.
Free Reavers.
Another famous canonical castle is Blemu Castle from Gygax's novels. The home of Count Dunstan.
Where's that?
That's all the way in Knurl near the Bone March.
Oh, so it's past Knurl. It's on the way. So it's past. Here's Knurl. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's in the middle of nowhere. So that is in the Bone March.
Well, that's not really. I mean, it used to be a very trafficked area when.
Right. So is that who has this now?
I imagine it's a ruin.
Oh, it's a ruin? Okay.
Because I think
because Evali, she became the ruler of Ratik, right? Eventually. Yeah. So she might abandon it. Yeah.
No, Rick Charles, all these we're discussing are published source. All of them. somewhere, maybe a tidbit here and there.
Well, no, I think according to his question, no, a lot of them are not mapped or detailed.
Oh, they're not mapped or detailed, but they're discussed as published
they're
source.
talked about. Yeah,
Right.
You might have a little bit of lore to go on.
Yes, lore.
But some of these you have a free hand to describe however you want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Blemu Castle is the one that is detailed in the Gord books or
Right.
mentioned in the
But
story,
not mapped
but
out
we
or
don't
anything.
exactly not mapped, not placed properly either. It's
If you go
yeah.
a little further to the northeast.
And hang on a second, Jay, your
I'll show
map
you.
is old because Gary and me, we moved Blemu Castle down further south.
A little
so,
closer
yeah.
to Knurl.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's down here
We
somewhere.
read this story. Yeah, it's down.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
No, it's even further, closer to Knurl.
Down
on
here?
No, on the western
Down
side.
Other
here.
side of the river, other side
Yeah.
of the Teesar Torrent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a place. We added a place called Flosh
Oh, that's not
Crossing there
that's
too and
null-
stuff. Yeah.
null. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's yeah. So we read the stories more properly and
If you go
There's
if you
one.
go up
Yeah.
to if you go to the northeast a little,
All right. I'm just showing Skylight. Mar Castle is right here.
yeah, right between
Yeah.
Ernst and
Okay. Greyhawk is over here, right up here. All right. So back. All right. So we're
yeah, I think Mar Castle's a ruin. Yeah,
All right. So where did you say this is?
go back to
It's,
the Bone
yeah.
March Radix.
Yeah. Raddick.
Little further
East.
to the northeast.
Yeah, and
Up here?
Knurl is moved too. Yeah, Knurl is actually in the V of between the Tessa Torrent
Oh.
and the Harp River. Yeah,
Oh, here.
there. That's where Blemu
But is
yeah.
it on the border?
No, it's on the river there.
No, but I'm saying, is it on the red border? Is it on the border
Oh, the
line
border
here?
is actually further north now. We moved
Oh,
that too.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Knurl, we moved that too, so it matched the stories better. So yeah.
So
Yeah.
so go more to the northeast. There's a dark area that Anna has marked.
Okay, 1 second here. So I'm sorry, northeast, yeah.
Yeah, towards upper right. Keep going. More.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
no, you passed it. Sorry, I'm looking at the I'm looking at the Twitch stream. So I didn't know you passed it. Go back a little.
You have to look in Zoom. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Right towards the bottom there. Oh, nope, don't zoom. Right there. It's centered right now.
Lurgan?
No,
Oh,
there's
Depar's Castle.
a castle there in the middle. and a little
The
land around
Dreadlord's
it.
castle?
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
is one of the only places where a Death Knight is living basically out in the open, and
Hmm.
you can go knock on his door.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, there's
Trick or
another
treating?
one. That is
Yeah,
one
exactly.
other that lives in the Adri forest, Prince Myrhal.
Yeah, but that's hidden. I mean, people don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not out in the open, but he
No.
has a court there, so that's another
Yeah.
one.
That's another
Yeah.
one for sure.
So is once again, Dale, are these Highlander castles to protect against the humanoids or the Dreadlord or both? Because they got
Well, they were originally the northern border of the Great Kingdom, and around 100 Common Year, the Great Kingdom invaded the Bone March, which was mostly Flan and Frost barbarians, and so the Great Kingdom essentially kicked them out of those lands and started building Spine Castle, and the Frost barbarians came and attacked the work at Spine Castle, and so that was the largest, most deadly battle in the history of the Flannis.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Largest battle.
Yeah, so you had 10,000 dead Frost barbarians, thousands of dead Imperial troopers, and essentially a lot of these bodies were just left to rot on the ground because there was enough manpower to bury them. So that's how the Bone March gets its name.
Interesting.
Because when you're traveling these roads, you'll occasionally see bones sticking out of the ground.
So wait a minute, the Frost barbarians then just traveled from ship across to here somewhere and came across?
Well, remember, Raddick didn't exist at that time.
So okay, got it.
They came down through the pass and also from the coast.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I got it. Interesting. Very, very cool.
When this is an age when the Great Kingdom was a heroic place.
What, the early 200s, 300s, 400s?
Well, even earlier than like negative 100 to positive 100.
Okay.
Yeah. Things started to go dark after about 200.
So 300 years. So what did Rome have? what did Rome have? 500 years, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
more
it
than
depends
that.
on how
Depends
you,
on, yeah.
where you started.
Well,
it,
they're
so to
fighting the
speak.
Carthaginians through to like negative 100, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, but they
so
they didn't. It kind of gradually was created, just like the Great Kingdom. Meaning it was you had the Kingdom of Verdi, and then it kind of moved up and eventually became the Great Kingdom or Empire.
right.
So yeah,
Master of Dungeons. If you're looking at Kendall Keep,
yeah,
and it's here.
exactly. More like 800 to 1,000.
Here you
Yeah.
go.
Kendall Keep, the most visited castle
There you-
by adventurers in
Yeah,
the world.
there it is,
Yes.
right
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Dark
Yeah.
Gate, near here. There it
I-
is for yeomanry.
Well, this is an interesting discussion. Where would you place this? I don't like the placement of Keep on the Borderlands right
All right,
there.
where did I run it? We have a group
Yeah.
called the Keep Group. Why is that? Because they started in my placement, return to the Keep on the Borderlands in the Shieldlands, pre from the ashes. So
Not a bad choice.
and that
Not a
was
bad
all
choice,
up in this area here, all in this area here, and it was
Yeah.
before I was
With-
map placing stuff, but it's out here.
Yeah, with the Horn Society to the north, you could imagine a
Yep.
Caves of Chaos.
Right, and also Bandit Kingdoms too. You know,
Yeah.
all sorts of. Yeah, that's where I placed
Now,
it.
I'll tell you another cool place to place it, which is down near the Principality of Ulick, bordering the Pomarsh.
Yep, that'd be another good place too. In fact, I think the gentleman from Vancouver who has his all lady group and has his store on Facebook, he has it. He started it there too. That's where he did it. I forget his name. Yeah, Master C. Great minds think alike.
And another great place to place it is up
Rob
in,
Gruber.
near
That's it. Thanks, Will. I'm
near
sorry.
the Bone March, near Neural.
Yep, that's another
because
good place too.
So it really depends on where your campaign is centered. You could put it in a lot of different places.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere up here, anywhere down here. Yep, there's a whole bunch of places to put it. So,
The only place you can't put it is in Naira, in the middle of Naira.
well, you can if Von Moku's playing, he's gonna think he's gonna put it there. You know, there's a lot of places you can't put it. I wouldn't put it in all anywhere either. So, that's really a borderland.
Right, and that's a place like the Tiger Nomads, the Wolf Nomads, the Rovers, the Barons. You're not going to find a lot of castles in those places.
True.
Or stone fortifications. Now there are some weird places like necropolises and things that are definitely have lasted centuries, but not the traditional castle.
Right. And that's the thing. We wanted to go over some historical ones. We wanted to go over some that we know ourselves. But there is plenty. And I know Rex Wells asked this question: how many castles are per Darlene hex? And a lot for many of them, there's 0. Right? There just isn't any. There's so much room for you to do whatever you want, wherever you want.
But
GREYHAWK.
in the core of the Great Kingdom, Rex Felix, I think one castle of sorts per hex is not a bad estimate.
Absolutely.
I mean, it might be a very simple keep, but
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense there. It does, because there's got to be way more than is shown in this area on the map.
Yeah, because of the population of right now where you're looking is millions.
Yeah, or
So
was.
Well, I don't know how destructive it was down there, but yeah, it definitely is missing features, and that's a good thing for a DM because you could add more towns, more keeps and castles.
Absolutely. And I've entered. Let's see here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 castle keeps along the Jewel River here. 2 up here. One of them is Tim, the ever mysterious Tim's up here. A ranger hold there, and a full city here. So there you go. Just in that area. Oh, we have another castle that was found. So Gary, I want to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. Who would have placed a castle? I named it the Eagle's Nest too. That's for the Philly Eagles, not from the
not the
Eagles
German.
Nest. Yeah,
not the German one.
No. Who would put an old keep up there?
Are you looking at Delvinbrook? Oh, Eagle's Nest.
Yeah, that's it. That's a keep we have in our game. That's a castle. Small.
And that's connected to the Altamira campaign?
Yes, it is. It's connected to the Order of Ulick campaign. Look, it's an Order of Ulick holding in the Vespi. Yep.
That place is in a lot of danger.
I say so. It's like the ultimate in the middle of nowhere keep. Yep. But Qualston's not far. Qualston's like their lifeline point. So
I mean, the Flannis is full of places where PCs could build a castle.
Yep.
And essentially homestead, their own little realm.
Just like over here, right? Just like Malden did.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, and the Sea Prince's West Keep is also a very famous fortress city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, West Keep, and then
we
also did UK.
Kiewish kings were.
Yeah,
It was desperate to try and.
We brought up
redeem,
UK 3 from the Sentinel and the Gauntlet. There, Alder Red Keep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, lots of places. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this discussion. It's showing a lot of places, we went over realistic applications of them that Anna had done research on in her previous, one show we did 3 years ago for this. So starting to finally recycle some topics because we've done 264 as far as Legends and Lore goes.
A project for someone out there who really wants to do this. Make a list of all the keeps and their locations, their state of repair, what treasure they may hold, and what secrets are around them. And I'll put them on the Cannon Fire interactive map.
Crazy Cyber. Yeah, that'd be perfect. We played in search of the unknown Quasquetin and Ratic. Maybe not a keep, but lead into our keep in the Borderlands. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people love Ratic for the keep on the Borderlands. Remember, you also have Caverick's Cove. You have Carlos's Adventure there, too, that you can utilize as well.
Quasquetin comes from In Search of Unknown.
Yep. Which the one thing, I just don't like having to place all the monsters in there. It seems kind of random to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. That was early on.
It's like a proto module. They hadn't really figured it all out yet.
So true. So true. I built World Similar to Borderlands, GREYHAWK, and the Border Kingdoms, Robert Barony's a Grand State. Yeah, so there you go. So have fun with it, and just you can create your own.
Although it's far easier to take over an existing castle than it is to build your own.
Well, the problem is you have to take it over intact without having to...
And not kill everyone off, so you have people that will assist you that are on your side.
That will probably be harder to have them.
Yes.
If you scare them away or yeah.
There are a lot of them out there that are partially ruined. You could rebuild them. Rebuild the defenses.
Right.
That's easier than to, build it from scratch.
Alrighty, so we're going a little over. I appreciate this discussion. This was fun tonight. This is really, we had a good time with it all. So Gary, any other locations or whatever, or what's going on with you as well? Could have some fun stuff happening, huh?
Let me think. Well, of course, Roxy's must have a very impressive palace, and
yes,
but we lost the city from the setting.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers all the ones I can think of, but
it's good. We appreciate you hopping on the second hour.
But I'm working on the Visions 4, the Underdark Post Fest, so
nice.
It's good. It's going to be a huge one. Three articles by Roger Moore in it.
That's great. It's almost like Dragon 60, where he has the whole Dragon magazine to himself, basically. Very cool.
That's funny because Roger said that in an email to me a few weeks ago. He said, "This is like the new Dragon."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, do you want to put comics in there? Do you want to put ads in there? We could put joke stuff in there, as long as it isn't real.
Yes,
Remember those old ads just for sea monkeys?
Yeah, and all the other stuff. And a friend of ours that lived in Haddon Heights had the miniatures case. So that was him. He had that carrying case for miniatures.
You order that?
Yeah.
I also remember the campaigns that advertised and were like, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope and play by post.
Yep, those were the days before the internet. Yep.
And I also remember all the ads for Jarun. I'm like, what kind of setting's this? Yeah. I was like, this looks weird. And then there's squad leader stuff in them and all. It was great. It was a great time.
I think Dragon was at its best when it was willing to cover other product lines from other companies.
Yeah.
When it became a complete house organ, I think it lost some of its charm.
I agree. So, just note that I'm going for the holidays for the son's gift this year. We're going retro. retro gaming. It's
Okay.
retro as you can get. Yep, I'll share that a little
Mhm.
bit in the down the road, but it'll be. I have some unbelievable classics coming. I'll share them at some point. I just can't do it while he's around, but I'll show all the things I'm collecting. Oh yeah, you're all going to get really, really jealous. I'll say
You
that
bet.
probably yes, but I got to be able to do it when I know I can get it with him not being here. So
Have you guys decided on your Halloween costumes?
not yet this year. I haven't even talked about it. I get through Virtual Grad Con, and then last year. I wanted to do Dread Pirate Roberts and then Nina Montoya, but he didn't want to do it. So I'm going to work on them again for this year because they were available on sites to order those. I thought that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see. I'll try to convince him this year. So, yeah. So what else you got going on there, Gary? Anything else fun?
No, I mean, just working on the zines, working on another big project, and excited to play in Virtual GaryCon.
So I know you. What are you
GreyHawk
in one of
Con.
Les's games, and who else's?
I've been 2 of Les's games.
Okay.
And a few seminars and stuff. I'm still leaving myself open to join a game at the last minute.
Okay.
Or run one or the other.
Alan Crowley's doing the same thing because he's working nights right now. That's why he hasn't put anything in. So I said to him, Alan, there are games that need to be filled and protect. We got like 3 or 4 of them. Valmoku needs some. The gentleman who's done all the Deep Dwarven Delves, the Zavad adventure that Bogart put in. We need about 15 signups to really fill it out well, because I'm not worried about the Greyhawk Reborns. They always get filled, and they always go off. So I'm worried about some of our independent people's adventures. We really want to get them in. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. We're gonna have a fun time. So
yeah, you should post an update on the BHGC channel and try to encourage people.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Josh was supposed to do it. So on what was left and stuff, but I have no stream this weekend. I have a lot of things to do. I didn't do my GaryCon logins for my adventures and stuff. That's Saturday, along with all these other updates. I get to sit at my computer, not worry about prepping a game Friday evening to Saturday morning. So I have no game this weekend. So that's when I'm going to be doing a lot of it. So, well, my wife's working and stuff. Nah, Lomas, Atari 7800. No, older. So, yeah. No. All right, so Gary, thanks for hopping on. I'm so glad you did. That was a blast.
Yeah.
We're rocking and rolling
Awesome.
now. We're Legends and Lores and Gabbins. The shows are all been really great and successful, and we appreciate it. So, yeah, a day without prepping, running too, because when you see the terrain I had to prep up for tomorrow. It's close to the one on Saturday. We made some changes. Anna, what's going on?
First, I'm going to post a link to something I posted a little over a week ago. That is actually tying into my first. I present a series of keeps outside of Crit Wall that ties into the discussion we've had today. So they call the Polaron keeps. It's my design. They're part of so they are a series of locations with, of course, maps, illustrations, layout of each keep, and also the history. So I wrote the history and all of that as a first example, and they were widely popular. So I've got lots and lots of comments, and people come back to me. So there will be more of them. But I want to.
Cool.
I need to prep for Virtual GreyHawk Con, and so I'm not going to show off that much beforehand, but there will be more coming. So I really I got so much good feedback on the format, so I'm going to use the same type of format, meaning history, surrounding area, illustration, layout, and so on. So that will come. So I have a whole bunch of locations lined up that way that are from my campaign and surrounding areas. And also now I know how to present other stuff. So I'm working on some cool stuff that will come from my seminar and Virtual GreyHawk Con. And also, if you go to the latest post on I just go that latest post. I have an overview or some of the design goals of Hawk Tales fantasy roleplay, my rules, and I will be play testing them on Sunday and Saturday. I haven't had any signups, but Sunday I have signups, and next week and so on. So go on my Discord server or sign up to my Patreon or something, and then there will be play tests and stuff. And I will run games a little bit more often, play test stuff, and as it progresses further, then there will be more regular games, so to speak. So there will be, and now I will have on Virtual Greyhawk Con, there will be roughly about 5th level pre-gens, and so it's my take on D&D, so to speak. So it's it has a little bit of quirky features here and there, but if you play D&D, you can feel right at home, except classes, of course. There's no classes, yeah. But otherwise, it's a lot of similar stuff. So those are the things I'm working on right now. Yeah.
We get to see it in action, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and that's a good thing. We get to see it in action.
You get to see it in action on during the Virtual Greyhawk Con. So yep. And I just did today. I did the troll, troll monster, one of the monsters. I studied out. There are some little cool quirks that are not part of standard trolls that I think trolls should have. That coming into it too. And I've done basically soon all the spells up to 3rd level and a bunch of spells higher than that. But so I've done a lot of spells, but there's still some spells I need to. The basic stats are in for all the spells from Player's Handbook, and then some. But there's still a few that I need to tweak, like the Wish spell and Resurrection and stuff. That I haven't done yet but the death rules are coming in there, and they have some interesting twists too. So that's basically getting ready for Virtual Greyhawk Con is the thing. But there will be on the mapping live stream on Friday. Yep.
Awesome.
As usual. Yep.
Cool. All right. So I got a game tomorrow night, and then Sunday night we'll talk about them real quick. Here's the terrain for this adventure. It's going to be 2 weeks, because then after that we'll go into my Thursday night Virtual Greyhawk Con game the week after. So and there's a little blow up up top there, and this is called the Cairn Discovery. It's in outside Greyhawk. I put this cairn in a spot where it's not near the star cairns, but it's out there, and I put it just because of Curtis. I put it near Sour Load just to make him laugh. It's out there, so there you'll see. It'll start off with a map of someone acquiring a map of this location and going from there. So, and I'll be the group Vengeful Justice next 2 weeks. No game over the weekend, but Sunday night is the special event. Creating a specialty priest. Going to create a priest of Brandabaris, the halfling deity of thievery, and we're doing that one because Alan's actually got one. I haven't done it in a while, but also Celestian. We'll get to it in a future show, but they're the two I'll be doing. But I'm going to start on and how I do it, how I create it from scratch, and we'll show it. And that was Bill's idea to do it, and then that'll be it for this week. So only 2 more streams this week, not 3. This I have an update, and now it's showing me. I haven't changed it. I get all these screens that change all the time.
Is that going to end up being a 2E priest?
Oh yeah, it's 2E. 1E. It's a 2nd edition setup, but it converts back to 1E, 1E 2E, just like the Benador one with all the spell list and everything. Yep, cool. Abilities, all that. Yes, we're gonna do that from scratch. You'll see how, that's how that's the beginning, is player's options, spells, and magic. It's the beginning, and there's a reason for that, and I'll share all that on Sunday at 7. All right, let's do the giveaway. Exclamation point drawing. All right, let's see who wins this. And then we'll see you all tomorrow night at 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? I'm going to close this out in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll rate into someone. Winner tonight is Pat66. Congrats. Get with me, Pat66. I know sometimes he has to log off early, and I give him... he's on. I see him in chat. I see him in the chat log. So Pat66 is the winner. Get with me, and I'll give you a Classic D&D reprint of your choice of one I have. No problem. and then we will continue onward. And like I said, thank you for all the support. We are still rocking and rolling here. Good. You're good then. You're all good. So Anna and Gary, thank you so very much. Another fun show.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to come and
everybody
hang,
for coming.
yeah, tomorrow night will be a little tie-in, twist, backstabbing, all that stuff will happen tomorrow night like it normally does. It's, I guess it's 2 weeks, so I may not even get into the cairn. So we'll see on this, but I'm looking forward to it. All right, who are we rating into? I had someone picked out and then they logged off. So, what is Tim at Stronghold running? He's running Storm King's Thunder. He's on a break right now. I hate rating into someone who's on a break. I hate that. But I'll do it anyway because I already have it set up. So let's rate into. And Tim, plays in the new group, the Bone Baddies. Not as bad as Nuclear Meat with names, but still bad. Thank you. Thanks, Fuzz, and thank you all for keeping us rolling here. I said we're gonna have a great Virtual GREYHAWK Con. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a real good one. So, whoops, that second winner is no good, Jeremy. Remove. I hit a wrong button there. So I meant to hit the complete button. I just sent you out stuff as it is. I sent you out the thing for Saturday. I'm just trying to set the rate up here. Wrong button. Wrong button. Wrong button. Wrong button. And everyone enjoy their evening. I got a long travel day tomorrow ahead of me, so I'm like, all right. All right, I'm going to hit this, and then I'm going to hit the screen, and we'll see you all tomorrow night. Everyone have a good one. Wrong button. There's another wrong button. My gosh. That should be scene 11. Jeez. Duh. My gosh. All right. Let's see if we can get like over 70, and that would be awesome. I'm going to tell him real quick. I'm sending him a message. I just told him, get live rating in, so we'll see if that happens. Alrighty, 79, setting it up. Here we go. Oh man, there we go. Did that go?
Yep.
Looks like it. Yeah.
79 people.
All right, good.
Yep.
Staring at a be right back sign.
Let me just make sure. I'm trying to get there. I hit too many wrong buttons tonight. Holy shit. I'm just trying to get to it myself. They're not live yet, right?
No.
It stinks. Oh well. I got there you go. All right. Turn the screen off here.